¿Qué tal, amigos? Sus compas,
Los Calentanos Podcast.
Señoras y señores, otro episodio aquí con sus amigos Los Calentanos Podcast. Bien, un saludazo para toda la gente que se está suscribiendo a nuestro canal y sigue a día escuchándonos. Ahí ya veo los YouTubers también se están engaging with us. So, vemos los comentarios, ya la gente ya está bien prendida ahí queriendo más episodios. Un saludazo cordial para todos y cada uno de ustedes. Hoy estoy con mi compa.
¿Qué tal, amigos? Misael, por ahí mandarle saludos a toda la gente que los acompaña desde su casita, de su phone, de su carrito, desde donde esté viendo nuestro programa. Saludos para cada uno de ustedes.
Y mi compa.
Yo, what up, guys? Piggy, alias Edgar. I'm rocking the nasty suit today, so I don't see any comments,
All right. Gracias a los sponsors. Y mi compa.
Tino Figueroa por ahí, saludos para toda la gente que nos está siguiendo día con día. Y talking about gente que nos está siguiendo por ahí, saludos para los amigazos de Nati's Pizza en Little Village.
Shout out.
El compa Maximiliano se dejó caer, bro, por ahí. Tiró la casa por la ventana y nos trajo some of his signature al pastor pizza.
It was really good, man.
It was awesome. And then the other one was
I'm taking the leftovers, by the way.
It's like a Mexican meat lovers type of shit.
Yeah. This was good.
It was
stuff,
good.
bro.
Pizza's so good, you're willing to risk a bullet for it. Hey, shout out to the South Side.
Salud para la gente de Little Village, por ahí están localizados ahí por 3849 West 26th Street, Chicago, Illinois. Búsquenos, tell them Los Calentanos sent you, and if hashtag Los Calentanos, you get a 5% discount.
Yes,
Maybe.
Maybe.
Or a 2-liter RC.
Oh, yeah, we'll go with that.
Pizza with RC, that's just the way to
Oh,
go.
yeah.
It's
Chicago. It's a staple of Chicago.
Yeah, for sure.
Hey, bro.
It's usually a 1 liter, no? It's like a 1 liter.
I like the can.
They got cheap.
It was a 2-liter before.
Yeah, a 3-liter. Remember the 3-liter?
No. Oh, yeah.
Pero luego te dan con el
fat-ass
six-pack.
one.
Six-pack también, ¿no?
Yeah.
So on this episode, bro, we're really excited because we got one of our really, really good friends.
You're excited because of the pizza, bro.
That too. I got an extra tinkle in my eye right now. One of our good friends, we know him since we were kids. We were kids, all of us. Now
That's usually how growing up happens. That's usually how growing up happens. You were all a little kid one day. Tino.
What happened to you, Piggy? You never grew up. My niño y tu mamá.
Hey, so we're really excited to have on this episode one of our really good friends, man. His name, everybody pretty much know it. It's been a household name in Chicago.
Oh, yes.
Since back in the, I want to say early 2000s.
Since the 3-liter RC days.
Yes, sir. His name is El Amigazo Miguel Esparza or Miguelito. Right?
O como quieran decirle.
Como quieran decirle. Right?
Thank you, guys. Me recibieron, pero de manera excelente con la pizza y todo lo que da. Así que muchas gracias por tenerme. Thank you, guys.
Some tequila.
We're whining and dining you, man.
Man, you guys are badass. Thank you.
Dude, we got tráeme de lo mejor, por favor.
Sí,
Tráeme
muchas
una
gracias.
pizza.
Oye, esa pizza del pastor está riquísima. I like that
it's really
concept.
good,
It's real good. I like it.
You can tell because you guys ate most of it.
Hey, man, it was really great.
It was.
Salud para el compa Maximiliano, man. He snapped with that, with his signature al Pastor Pizza. Thank you, bro. Thanks for the gear también, man. Thank you.
He brought us some shirts.
We're going to
some
put it in the
hats.
wall of fame over there where all the other stuff is at that our guests have brought. Man, thank you for
Damn, the
stopping
guests
by.
bring stuff. I didn't bring anything, bro. I'm sorry.
It's all right.
You brought your presents.
No me pueden colgar ahí.
It's all right. You can leave your sweater, bro.
Sí,
Just sign it for us.
Or a blank check.
sí, no,
también.
mira.
I like that one.
Blank checks work. Yeah.
Those tickets or something, you know.
Bueno, thanks for having me. Ya me voy.
Tan tan.
He grabs a pizza like
Right. That's it. I'm out.
He said, "No tickets. No, I don't mess with you, bro."
Yeah, dude. It's. I'm gonna tell you guys a funny story. And if you heard my podcast, you heard the story.
Oh, I did.
when the ticket thing, because mira, todo el mundo piensa que porque trabajo en la radio tengo tickets, and I don't. That's the reality. I don't even get tickets, which is the worst part.
Why are you winking at me, bro?
Y lo peor de todo eso, ¿no? Es que a veces hay personas que o sea, te contactan.
Yeah.
No deja tú que te aprovechen. Si son compas y uno puede, pues obviamente, se hace.
Right.
Pero cuando es simplemente somebody out of the blue, like, oh, this guy works at radio. Like,
You went to high school with me, bro.
yeah, bro, like, give me some tickets. I'm like, dude, it's funny to me, There was a point where I was rocking a hat que decía no tengo boletos.
Hey, Hey, that's good. That's good. Actually.
Yeah, write that one down. Write that one down.
That's the reality, you know, like, I don't get tickets. Like, it's just crazy. Like, pero pues sí, o sea, obviamente uno asocia lo que es la radio con tener boletos, you know?
Yeah.
So talking about radio, bro. So has it always been like that since you started in the radio? Because I'm sure people hit you up like, hey,
Back in the day, no.
No.
Back in the day, it was easy.
It was easier?
Back in the day, sí. O sea, para el no, bro, like, hit me up, I'll put you on the list. Like, that was the reality.
That was the way to go in the list.
Yeah. And that was the reality. Like, we all had access to the list. Like, hey, we would go over to programming. Hey, can you put these names on the list for me for tal salon, you know? For no, like you mentioned, bro. That's special to me, man. I've done so many times, man. pero sí, o sea, era mucho más fácil. Oye, quiero ir para tal evento. Órale, ya está. You know, pero ya eso se acabó. Like, that was like long time ago.
Does that still go on at bailes o ya no? Or I feel like nowadays ya no hay tantos bailes así como en salones like back in the day, like OK Corral, Noa. Like now it's more like little smaller, more different like promotores. Like before it was one guy pretty much.
Pero sí hace, pero sí hace. Sí regalan, en la radio sí regalan. Pero, por ejemplo, o sea, la persona que está en ese turno trabajando, esos son los que regalan. Pero, por ejemplo, que yo vaya y diga, dame los boletos, o sea, no funciona. Like, it doesn't work that way like back in the day.
So there's no list anymore?
No. There is a list. Wait. There is a list. So it's just all, like, they have to make sure they track everything. Make sure que todo vaya, okay, eso se le regaló a tal persona, eso se le, you know what I mean? Like, tener antes era, pásame tu nombre y lo ponemos en la lista.
Because now I think they even ask for an ID, right? So you gotta have a state ID and stuff.
Te ponen tu dirección, todo, o sea, toda la información. Pero te digo, antes no.
You get a 1099 at the end of the year.
Antes en MySpace, ahí, ponme unos boletos. ¿no?
And I'm guilty, bro. I did that a couple of times.
Pero cuando se podía, you know, like that was the reality. Pero ya no, hoy en día no. Hasta yo estoy, you know, I want to go somewhere, but I don't. See here.
Do you pay when you go to events, like, or do you get the hookup?
So
honestly, bro.
No. So here's the thing. I will only go to events if I get the hookup. Like, yeah.
Okay,
like, I'm at a point in my life.
So you're like every musician too, then.
I'm at a point in my life donde yo no quiero ir, yo no quiero salir, a menos que sea algo que verdaderamente me interese ir. Yo no quiero saber de bailes. ¿Por qué? Porque, o sea, tantos años que yo estuve en eso que no tengo el deseo. No. So it has to be like something that really, really I want to go, and then I'll put a request, and that request may or may not be, you know, they won't fill it, or they may be, you know. A veces el mismo día del concierto te mandan mensaje, okay, tenemos este par de boletos, ¿los quieres?
Damn.
Okay, you know.
But
it's got to be something that I really want to go to.
So nowadays, what kind of Mexican artists like Miguelón will actually go see?
Miguel, please.
Man.
Like you will be like, I gotta go see him. Or her.
Por el morbo, Karim León.
Karim León.
Por el morbo.
You're a fan, bro?
Yeah.
No. Por el morbo del por qué. Like, why is he such a big deal?
Right.
Like,
But
that's what I want to know.
Female audience, no? Or do you think?
I don't know.
From what I see.
Si tú me dices a mí que te diga una
he has
canción
some
de
good
Karim León,
songs.
no te puedo decir ninguna.
Yeah.
But I know la euforia que se ha creado alrededor de este hombre,
Yeah.
que me interesaría verlo nada más para ver, con mi punto de vista, analizar el por qué este hombre tiene la fama que tiene en este momento.
And it's crazy because the song he came out with became more of a hit con Banda Los Sebastianes, la de Través del Vaso, because that was his song.
Okay.
He recorded with his
I've heard the song, obviously.
Con su grupo norteño Banda, he recorded it, and then he left that band, and he became a soloist, but Los Banda Los Sebastianes actually has the bigger hit with it,
Ahí
which
está.
is crazy.
Te digo, and if you would have, I would have never guessed. Like, if I'm on a show, dime una canción de Karim León y te ganas. No, perdí. Ahí mismo me voy, porque no sé. Yeah. I'll be like, well, thanks for having me, but I don't know.
Tan,
You know,
tan.
pero sí, mira, y yo tenía el mismo morbo con Bad Bunny. I wanted to know why Bad Bunny was such a phenomenon.
Yeah.
And I went to his first concert at Allstate this past year, and I was like, okay, I get it. I went to the one
You
at Soldier
paid the
Field.
$5,000 for the seat?
I did not. I requested tickets. For that, I requested, and they were like, look, listen, everyone's requesting. We're going to do a raffle. Y si salen, pues te tocó.
Hey.
You know? So I got the tickets, and I went.
So
I was at that concert. She was lit.
Yeah, dude. Like, it's crazy. O sea, es increíble lo que ha hecho este hombre. O sea,
Yeah.
y mucha gente no le da crédito. Pero verdaderamente el trabajo que ha hecho y la evolución de él, porque...
Yes.
O sea, este hombre viene de tocarte en las peores cantinas de Puerto Rico. Lo que encuentras a las orillas de las carreteras, that's where he was. That's where he started. Yeah. So for me, that
He
was
used to be
very
a rapper,
interesting.
¿no? Like,
Yeah, o sea, sí,
Yeah.
exacto. O sea, era alguien que pues ahí te lo encontrabas en cualquier cantinilla, ¿no? Y pues para mí, ver la sensación en lo cual se convirtió y dije, okay, I have to go see this. I have to go see why it happened. And that's like, right now, me preguntas eso. Ahora, por gusto, yo iría a ver a Pepe Aguilar. Me encanta la voz de Pepe Aguilar. Me encanta lo que es.
Oh, yeah, they were making fun of it.
Well, his daughter.
No, no, his daughter's like a quarter or something like that.
Oh, really?
Or his wife, I guess.
Something like
okay,
that.
But Pepe Aguilar es un talentazo, ¿no?
Yeah.
Entonces,
he's bad. He got some
bro.
bangers.
He's Puerto Rican too. Wasn't he born in Puerto Rico?
No,
He was Luis Miguel, ¿no?
He was born in Texas.
Or was that Antonio Aguilar that was born in Puerto Rico? One of them two was born in Puerto Rico. Yes.
I didn't know that either. Sí.
Nah,
Yes,
that's super paisa.
Go to
Maestro.
Google right now. But one of them two was born in Puerto Rico, either Antonio Aguilar or Pepe Aguilar.
Yo sé que fue Luis Miguel, ¿no?
Luis Miguel.
No, Luis Miguel,
a
pero either
pero
Antonio Aguilar or
Pepe
Pepe Aguilar was born in Puerto Rico. So let's start this, bro. When does Miguel Esparza start, bro? What intrigues you? What makes you want to be in the radio? Like, was that something you knew you wanted to do since you were a kid? Because I think we all have that itch.
Yeah.
Like I think a lot of us in this table always wanted to be musicians, including yourself.
Yeah, that was my absolute all-time. Lo que yo quería hacer era cantar.
You wanted
esa era
English
mi
or
meta.
Spanish?
You still do though,
Because you're big.
Now where I am in my life, la vida me ha llevado a hacer cosas que por lo cual yo empecé esto. O sea, en abril son 22 años que entré a la radio.
Oh,
wow.
Pero yo entré a la radio por eso, porque yo quería cantar, yo quería ser cantante, yo dije, ¿qué mejor manera de poner tu música en la radio si no es trabajando en la radio, no? Mira,
Será más finesse the game.
You wanted to sing in
But it didn't
español or
work.
in English? Because I know you're a badass
Español.
Elvis impersonator.
Yeah, and so as Elvis came on later in my life, like, but I discovered Elvis cuando yo tenía 15 años. Me encontré un tape que tenía mi papá.
Okay.
And I just started listening. I was like, dude, like this. Well, little prior to.
Forrest Gump and shit?
Yeah, bro. Like that's like the best part of the movie. But like prior to.
It's the baddest part of the movie, bro.
Like for me, it is.
That's where you got the moves.
Yeah, exactly, right? Like we never knew until that movie came out. Pero sí, o sea, para mí, Elvis, te digo, fueron algunos años cuando cumplí 15 años, mi papá me llevó, esa fue mi quinceañera, ir a Memphis, and we went to Elvis's house.
Okay, I've been wanting to go there, bro.
You gotta go. Like since then, I've been easily 7-8 times already. Like that's my Disney World. Like that's where I will not go to Disney World. This is where I go to Memphis.
So, no se te dificultó cantar en inglés and in Spanish, bro? Because for me, it's hard singing in English. Like, even though I speak English 24/7.
Yeah.
Well, what did you start with first? Cantando en español.
Español con banda machos. Like that was my thing. Like,
what's your favorite macho song to sing?
Bro, Mi Luna Mi Estrella, which I was able to perform with. I sang it with them.
Nice.
Not only here in los salones, pero me tocó en Poncitlán, Jalisco, en Villa Corona, Jalisco. Un día me agarré una semana con ellos. They're real good friends of mine. So yo los conocí.
Ya son compas.
Yeah. Yo los conocí. They're like family, bro. Like yo los conocí cuando yo tenía about 13, 14 years old. Un amigo de mi papá era concuño de uno de los de la banda Machos, de los iniciales.
Okay.
Entonces un día, he was like, oh, can you drive us to take this guy to Oklahoma? Because they got to go, la banda se va a ir adelante, estaban aquí en Chicago, pero él se quería quedar un poco más con la familia. So, can you drive us there? My dad was like, yeah. And he asked me if I wanted to go. I was like, yeah, cool. I don't know. I had heard the music.
Yeah.
But it was like, whatever, like, yeah, I'll go. I'll take a road trip.
Like, we talk a lot in this podcast that back in the day, listening to Mexican music, you weren't cool. Like, in school, you were kind of tagged like
See,
I mean, it sounds harsh, but you were called the brazer. Like,
yeah.
I mean,
Pero
yo
en la escuela, o sea, I didn't have any friends. I didn't talk to anybody. I was yo era bien estudioso. O sea,
You were a straight A student, bro?
Yeah, bro.
So you had a discipline. Estabas disciplinado desde.
Sí. O
What
sea,
grammar school you went to?
I went to Morton Career Academy. And
Around here?
No, es en Chicago. Eso estaba sobre la Independence Boulevard. It's una una escuela azul, o sea, but it was a career academy donde te daban clases para. I was in some kind of advanced science, advanced reading. Nice. Like I was kind of smart,
Well, I mean, to be where you're at, bro, I'm sure you're smart.
Yeah. Well, no, this is just hard work, man. I'll tell you the truth. Pero so we go to Oklahoma. And we're driving, and el que era un muchacho que es sobrino de la banda Machos me decía, what does it feel to be in a truck with a famous famous person.
Oh shit!
I was like, bro, I don't know who the guy is. I'm just going for the trip.
I don't know. I wish I knew.
Yeah,
Me?
yeah. I'm like, I'm just going for the trip, right?
I'm just going for the waffle.
Yeah,
Like,
I was promised a Super Nintendo game for this shit.
So we're riding. We go to Oklahoma, and we get to the hotel. Y me voy a subir al elevador. Llegamos, nos dieron a qué cuarto íbamos. Me subo al elevador y ahí se estaban bajando los de la banda Machos, ya full attire, bro.
They had the gabardinas
Everything,
and
bro,
shit.
everything. I was
The
like,
trench coat, ¿no?
damn. Me impactó.
Yeah.
O sea, me causó un
You're
impacto.
like the Undertaker.
Yeah, right, yeah. Fue un impacto instantáneo en mí. It was like, dude, this is amazing. Like, that's when it really hit me. So we go up to the hotel. We start getting ready porque el baile era, o sea, ya se iba a llevar a cabo. Nosotros llegamos y me dice el...
Raúl.
No, se llama Lute, ya no está con la banda. Lute fue uno de los primeros, el trombonero.
Okay.
Y me dice, ¿te quieres tomar una foto con la gabardina? I was like, yeah, bro, like, yeah, for sure, you know? And me tomo la foto, vamos al baile, nos lleva una persona directamente, ok, ellos son invitados de la banda, bro, they take us backstage, nos dan comida, me llenan de, like, the little bandanas que decía banda Machos que te
Oh, yeah. I think I had one of those.
Yeah, bro, like everything. They hooked us up, dude. And da la casualidad que para ese tour fue la primera vez que cantó el Pidio, ¿cómo se llamaba? Pepe Morfín. Porque Raúl Ortega fue la primera vez que no fue. Like,
Okay.
he missed that tour por sus andadas y lo que tú quieras. So
Yeah,
that
he really didn't last that too long, right?
not too long. It got to him, bro. La fama, el dinero.
He became a soloist.
Solo,
after
he
that.
did,
Yeah. Ahorita está con la banda Match,
La Match.
which is like the ones that left Machos and created banda Match.
I didn't even know that.
Yeah.
I seen it.
It's Macho and Maggie, ¿no?
Mira, todos son déjalo, estoy buscando, todos son parte de.
Did you find the
Estoy
whole
buscando a ver si
Pepe Aguilar being born in Puerto Rico?
Yeah, I did.
Well, who was it?
I'm assuming it's that because it says he wrote a song called Mi Querido Puerto Rico.
Yeah,
Really?
Yeah,
That's
they were
why
born-
I didn't know that.
Bro, I mean,
Man, Tino, estás pesado, vato,
Hey, he's going to the gym, man. Don't talk about him like that. I got you, man. I got you.
these are those late night, like, I ain't doing shit.
The rabbit hole, no?
And I'm like, I can't sleep, so let's Google dumb shit.
Yeah.
I'm like, oh, okay. What?
Yeah.
Like the whole thing, why is
Dumb shit.
well, like the whole thing about his daughter saying she was Argentine. I'm like, is she really?
That's that day. So that's
Oh, yeah. I seen that picture.
yeah. So that was
That's
at
a
the
screenshot that I
hotel.
put that on, man.
That was at the hotel, and so that itself was like, bro, this is real
Badass
cool, you know,
experience.
like
How old were you there, bro?
I was 14, like 13, 14.
You're like, these girls ain't gonna believe it.
I got to take the gangster, man.
No, y te digo, o sea, y ya cuando los vi la banda, vi el performance, like, it was like, wow.
Were you,
They
were
do
you
a
on stage
show,
with them?
Oh yeah, I was like sitting next to the stage.
I'm sure
like, I
you
was
felt
right
like
there.
the vibe.
Oh yeah, bro. Like I'm standing there and they're ready to go up. They're all fist bumping me, and it was just like, dude,
You're
like,
hell yeah.
I was like, this is what I want to do for the
Like
rest of my
you're,
life.
like
you
you're
know?
Rocky and shit.
Yeah, bro. Like, créeme, en ese momento yo dije, eso es lo que yo quiero hacer para el resto de mi vida. Yo quiero cantar. Yo quiero, o sea, esto es para mí.
But you wanted to be straight singer. You didn't want to play like an instrument or something?
No, I wanted to sing. I wanted the
You wanted
spotlight.
the whole stage. Yeah, hell yeah.
Y pero de ahí, o sea, de ahí fue donde creció para mí el interés. Y como Lute fue la persona que conocí in a high school band, I took up the trombone because that was
yeah?
like what he played. So I was like,
You
well, I
wanna
want
be-
to, I'm going to
Yeah,
get
I
ready.
remember
You know?
you playing the
Yeah,
trombone.
so I played the trombone. Later on in my life, I went into an oldies band and I played the trombone there, and I was lead singer as well.
What were you singing there?
Oldies, all oldies.
Like
yeah. Todo
Temptations
lo
stuff?
que es Temptations, todo lo que es Tom Jones, a lot of Elvis.
Any Satchmo?
Frankie Valli. What?
You can
Yeah.
hit those notes?
Oh yeah, I was doing Sherry, bro. Like, yeah. So, yeah.
Do it on the mic, man. Do it on the mic.
I went to see the Jersey Boys.
Yeah, that's a great movie.
But the
Oh,
show,
there's a show. I haven't
is
seen the show. I saw
awesome,
the
bro.
movie. The movie is fantastic.
Like that dude,
Yeah,
he's awesome.
Frankie Valli. Te digo esta vez. Viene
He's coming.
seguido. Viene
He's
seguido.
actually
Sí,
coming.
sí, sí.
Actually, my wife
I
was
need
just
to go
telling
see
me
him.
about
yeah.
my wife was just telling me that she wants to go because she's like, we don't know how long he's gonna last. You know?
Yeah,
Like, so-
no, that's the truth. That's
like,
the truth.
like the song he wrote for his daughter and stuff.
Mhm.
Like you're just too good
Yeah.
to be true.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah.
Another one
It's-
like
Mira,
the other song.
Esa es la misma.
There's
So,
another one like another. There's another sad one that he has.
I love you.
Another. Oh fuck! I was just listening to today, but it's crazy how his daughter was supposed to be as good as him, but then, you know.
Yeah, es raro.
And
Mira
then,
el hijo de Julio César Chávez. He's supposed to be as good as him.
Oh my God. Dude, I remember when the dad le decía, es un pendejo.
and that's the thing is that there's goods and bad de ser músico. Because we get exposed to a lot of stuff. And then you as a musician and as a person, you have to have the right mindset to do this. And not everybody has it, bro. Because así como puedes like agarrar fama or whatever, you get lost real quick.
Yeah.
En un abrir y cerrar de ojos, you can lose it all.
Mira, hay locutores que han ganado un dineral.
Yeah.
I'm not one of them.
You're like, I'm here. Thank you for being here.
Y se han perdido y que son talentosos, pero eso, o sea, la fama les llega a cierto punto donde no saben qué hacer y lo he platicado mucho con my world now is sports and in the sports world lo vemos all the time, you know, vemos a Mike Clevenger con los White Sox, el problema que tuvo con la mujer, o sea, bro, like eso estaba más que claro, simplemente qué pasa, el vato le paga una feria y se acabó todo, ¿no? Pero el problema ahí viene siendo eso, que tienes tanto dinero que en tu mente tienes el poder, o sea, tienes el poder y ahí lo está demostrando nuevamente al momento que la investigación de MLB se acabó, terminó, no hay nada. Like, come on, bro. Like, obviously, like, sí hay algo. Y lo vimos con Aaron Hernandez, el de los Patriots.
También Pedro Strop, remember? He had an issue with his wife también before he came to the Cubs.
No.
What was his name?
Aroldis Chapman.
Yes. He had an issue too. Because he came here and then like thinking like a year later they found him. Like, well, how come the Cubs didn't find it?
Exactly. And that's the thing, you know, like people pierde la cabeza bien rápido. Es bien fácil porque el poder, lo que tú quieras, siempre te va a cambiar, ¿no? Entonces tienes que tener, you have to be headstrong para mantener eso.
And then also I feel like nowadays it's harder to get away with stuff because everything comes up. Like now
everybody got a camera, man.
Yeah. Social media. Now people, their phone scans your face, you know.
Yeah.
People dig up your old posts and stuff like that. So you got to be like really careful when you post it 10 years ago.
You got to be smart and not post anything, you know. It's like, it's very hard, you know. It's hard because obviamente somos, por ejemplo, yo cuido mucho mi imagen. Yo cuido mucho porque al final del día, yo siempre he dicho esto, ¿no? Tiene uno que ser responsable, ¿no? Y tenemos el poder del micrófono y puedes impactar de cierta manera. Y puede haber alguien que me siga a mí like a role model y luego yo vengo y pongo una pendejada somewhere and it's like, bro, like, really? No, you know, a veces, o sea, no voy a decir que no lo pienso. Claro que lo pienso, I keep it to myself, you know? ¿Por qué? Porque tenemos que ser responsables, tenemos que
cancel
llevar
culture
eso.
is real, man.
Bro, yeah, for sure. Pero olvidarte del cancel culture, yo creo que el impacto negativo que puedes tener en una persona, creo que es mucho más importante, ¿no? Y son las cositas que uno siempre tiene que llevar, ¿no? La responsabilidad con lo que tenemos frente a nosotros, que es este micrófono, que nos, obviamente, ¿no? Ahorita, even the podcast here, tú no sabes en qué lugar del mundo nos están escuchando. Y la realidad de las cosas es que sí hay personas que los escuchan, no por nada siguen haciendo su podcast, right? Entonces, todo eso, ¿no? Yo creo que al punto que tú tocabas, ¿no? La importancia de mantenerse con los pies sobre la tierra, creo que es importante sobre todo, ¿no? Provecho.
Damn.
Hey, I'm taking this in. I'm like, hell yeah. Regáñeme.
I feel attacked.
That's why I tapped them. I'm like,
no, it's good. Like what we do here, like we started for fun.
Yeah.
And then it led to a lot of things like we mess around a lot.
Right.
Like, our podcast has we gear more to musicians, and a lot of musicians, but obviously somos borrachos. We do a lot of shit talking and all this shit.
Drugs.
Jose Torres was right then, right?
Yeah. So we come here, we talk a lot of shit, pero you know, es como le digo, oye, pero behind this hay seriedad.
Claro.
So hay que mantener, we could talk shit, pero hay que mantener like una imagen a portray yourself.
Claro.
And we could see it, and they see it now because they go to places like, hey, Calentanos, what's up?
Oh, that's what happened to us this weekend. You know, they came up to us. I'm like,
Calentanos, what's up? I'm like, bro, people are watching, bro.
Of course,
like, you understand that, you know?
Es muy importante.
We started QCing our episodes now.
Yeah. And it led to that because then we noticed we're like, hey,
we can't be saying that.
We can't be saying that.
Yeah, and we can't make it like our
Well, pero
guests
tampoco,
look
mira, yo lo que digo es esto, ¿no? Tampoco es no ser tú, obviamente, ¿no? Creo que mantener tu identidad siempre es muy importante, ¿no?
Right.
En un podcast, o sea, porque yo a mis amigos los trato de pendejos, ¿no? Esa es la realidad.
Right.
¿Qué onda, pendejo? You know what I mean? Like,
He looked at me right away. You guys noticed he looked at me directly at you.
Es que con Tino, mira, por ejemplo, yo a Misael y a Tino los conozco ya añales, ¿no? Pero con Tino siempre nos mantuvimos más...
When we were
más,
younger.
Desde...
Party scene and everything,
Ajá,
bro.
exacto. Entonces, obviamente... hay esa confianza, ¿no? Y a lo que voy con esto, no es cambiar la identidad de uno, sino, sin embargo, siempre tenerlo somewhere in the back of your head. The importance of being that role model to somebody somewhere that your story will cause impact to, no matter who it is, porque you guys are successful people doing what you do. And whether it be the podcast, the music, your regular work, you guys are successful people, like, and that is something that's very important to carry.
And like you said it, bro, like, now you don't know who's watching you.
Yeah.
Like, I'm sure a lot of us get those requests on and over. You're like, hey, what the hell is this? Who's this? And then they tell you, hey, you're doing a good job doing this, doing that. Or what do you do to sing? Or what do you do to prepare yourself before before a show or a game? So, and what what school you ended up going to do the broadcasting, or what made you go there?
Right.
Well, you said that
was the initial question, right?
We derail really bad.
How much time do you guys have?
We have a lot, bro.
We have a lot, man.
We put a new roll in the camera, man. Don't worry about it.
So you say you were a musician and you want to get your music played in the radio. So what school did you end up were you watching TV one day and then a commercial came up for some school?
Exactly. That sounds like you heard my story already.
I mean, a nosotros nos pasó casi lo mismo, but we went to Lincoln Tech.
Okay.
Which was for the electric system technician thing.
Right.
And these guys went as grease monkeys, aka mechanics. I mean, no, that's what we used to call you guys at school.
And that's cool, mira, yo jamás pensé que iba a ser locutor, jamás pensé nunca. I didn't know what I was going to do in my life. I was coming out of high school. I went to Wells High School.
Wait,
and,
I'm sorry, bro.
and la verdad is que I know, day, right? Bro. Yeah. Of course it was. And the resources aren't there for you. To this day, I called the school this year. And I was like, hey, no, last year. I was like, hey, listen, this is what I do. This is what I've done with my life. I would like to go in there and inspire the young kids that are there now.
Oh, that's nice. That's really nice.
Because, I didn't have somebody come and talk to me.
Yep.
Yeah.
Mandaron la chingada. They never answered they never returned my call, And it
Assholes.
sucks. It sucks.
Weird,
it sucks because, I want to give back. I want to, if I can inspire at least one person in my life, entonces estoy hecho, ¿no? Entonces, eso es lo que yo quería hacer en ese momento, ¿no? But going back to what I was doing, I had no idea. No sabía qué quería hacer. I knew that I did not want to go to college. Okay. I didn't want to do it. I knew that.
You did graduate high school and everything?
Yeah. No, I told my parents, I'm like, this is all you're getting, and you're getting great grades. Because, I'm gonna bust my ass to make sure my grades are good and because I'm not going to college. My sister has a master's degree in forensic psychology.
Nice.
Oh,
shit. She really let you down there.
Yeah. So I was like, that's not going to be me. All right. It's just,
I feel like you kind of know it when you're a kid. That, certain things are not for you. And you're like, hey, I mean, we're, me and my compa are in trades, right?
Yeah.
So, I mean, I knew I wasn't going to, be a dentist or a teacher or an office person or
I would say
architect.
Es cosa que no te da
No te inspira.
No te inspira. Or not
claro.
that, but no te tiene la atención.
It doesn't attract you.
Yeah,
Yeah, because I remember my mom used to be like, vete a hacer un licenciado.
Un abogado.
Or
Whose
mom doesn't say that, man?
And then when the market was
Mom, I didn't speak English till I was 10.
What do you mean?
Vete a hacer un realtor, bienes y raíces. No, I can't do that.
Ya, no, y así era yo, ¿no? Yo sabía que no quería ir a la universidad, colegio, nada de eso. So right out of high school, I was working at a restaurant, and no, I was making, it's no longer there. It used to be called La Rocks on Grand and Ogden. Italian beefs, like the breakfast, just on la plancha en el desayuno and lunch, bro, like killing it. It was like, I was like,
oh,
I
that's
like
when
this.
You grill a lot.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, that's right. You do, right?
I do grill a lot.
I actually hit him up.
We should have waited for the summer, man.
I hit him up like a million times. I probably bugged him because I'm like, hey, bro, how do I get my grill to look like yours, like nice and black and with the silver coating and shit, with the shiny coating and stuff? And he's like, oh, you got to do this. He sent me the whole, 3 YouTube videos. And I was just
sent links and stuff,
And I'm like, oh, okay.
You talking about the flat top?
Yeah, dude.
Yeah.
His looks nice and shit.
Mío está bien prieto.
Yeah.
Hit him up.
It looks like the tablecloth.
No, his has a nice color to it, bro.
Thank you. So yeah,
takes
so
pride in that
no
shit.
sabía, sí, claro. no sabía qué iba a hacer con mi vida, you know, and still like I was 18 and nada, 19, nada, 20, nada. And that's when I saw that TV commercial. Late night.
There was
it
a
was
TV?
a TV.
Oh,
This was a late night
Was
TV
it at the
commercial.
was it
Channel
after,
55 or 32?
It was right before
Al Bundy?
the national anthem and then the And so I see this TV commercial for a school called the Illinois Center for Broadcasting.
Oh, yes.
And I was like,
Is it
It's still running, right?
well, it's now called Illinois Media School. So I was like, you know what? Why not? So ahí voy a la computadora, desconectar el teléfono, conectar el
Mom, don't make a call.
Yeah. No, todos están dormidos. Todos están
DSL.
dormidos.
You unplugged your sister from the phone.
Yeah. No, ella estaba dormida. The computer was actually in her room, so I went into her room, plugged the computer, went online, and I filled out a little form on there. The next day, they're calling me, you know.
Thirsties.
Yeah, dude. Hell yeah, bro. So
They heard him. They're like, "You sure you need schooling? I mean, we could use your voice
For $10,000, you can start tomorrow.
It was actually 12,000.
Shit, right. You were off by 2,000, my boy.
Yeah. So
Still got
they
off
call
cheaper
me.
than me.
They schedule a
thought you said
visit.
they scammed me.
Yeah, no. Well, so I go, and my dad takes me. My dad's amazing. My dad is a very important part of.
Shout out to your dad, bro.
Yeah,
Because
bro.
he used to work for the radio too.
He still
right?
does.
He still does.
Yeah,
He still does. No
Yeah.
shit.
What does
Yeah,
he do?
y él he's a remote tech. Like he sets up the remote, like all this equipment and all that stuff. Yeah.
Los terremotos, ¿cómo llaman?
Antes era una antena.
Ahorita ya no, right?
No, ahorita ya no. Y ahorita ya es todo a
These
través
guys
del
are motor
internet. Yeah.
Pretty
Yeah.
much, right?
I know, yeah. Antes teníamos que bring out la placa así grandota, put it there, move the van back so it wouldn't fall.
Oh, yeah, I remember that.
Yeah, y luego a poner la antena.
I gotta point it this way.
Yeah, dude.
He's like, oh, there it is.
You had to make sure you were pointing it towards Oak Brook. That's where the signal was gonna pick it up. So it was crazy,
yeah.
bro. Yeah, se llamaba el Marty.
That was the name of that thing?
Yeah. El Marty.
Sounds super ancient to me, man.
Yeah, dude. Yeah, no. It was crazy. Pero sí, hago la cita. Vamos. They made me record some commercials. The guy sells me on my voice, says, "Oh, you have an amazing voice. You could do this for a living." Hey, yo, qué chingón.
By the way, I'm a singer.
No.
Drop that. We want commercials.
Right. So in ese momento, I was like, oh, maybe I am cut out for this, right? But that's their sales pitch. Like they told every single person that walked in through that door, you have an amazing voice for
They
radio.
want those
you know?
12,000, my boy.
Of course.
He said, here's the blank check.
Right.
Hey, let me ask you. So when you went to school, did they actually show you how to talk?
No. They so the school and I don't want to knock the school, but
Nah, knock it down. I talk shit about Lincoln Tech all the time.
Yeah, but it really isn't like para mí, o sea, a mi ver. I don't know if they've done things different now, but this was back in 2001. And I think I went in, 2001. That's when I went in. And era básicamente lo más importante que yo saqué de esa escuela fue una lista con los fax numbers de las estaciones de radio so that we can do our internship. That was the most important thing that I learned that I got from that school.
Ahí van tus $12,000.
Yeah, on a list. That was it.
And do they show Spanish broadcasting also? Or only
No,
English?
so there was a time where they implemented a Spanish course for that, and I was an instructor there. They hired me as an instructor. This was many years after. But what I did, el curso que ellos tenían, I threw that shit away, bro. I was like, all right, I'm going to show you guys what you guys need to learn to be successful in radio. Like, that was what I took into, yo no les enseñaba lo que tenían en su libreto, no?
All theory and shit.
Yeah. I taught them what they needed. And then I had a frame right here on my desk que decía, and I took it off a newspaper, no hay excusas. That was my thing.
That was your motto?
Every time somebody came, I didn't finish this, I point at the frame. It's on you.
Don't make me tap the damn.
Yeah.
Right.
I'm like, you know what? I'm not. Si no lo quieres hacer, es muy tu pedo. O sea, yo te estoy dando a ti.
Pagaste.
Yeah, no, aparte de eso. O sea,
Now it's 15,000.
yeah, right. Oh, yeah. No, it was way more than 12.
Did you pay off your school loans yet?
Yeah, no, eso sí.
Con el primera semana que se fue a la radio.
Yeah, no. Bueno fuera. No. That's a big misconception.
God damn it.
Yeah, bro, yeah. No, pero sí, pues me dan esa lista. And I used to love La Ley. That was my station. That was my.
You were the.
That was my. Yeah, bro. I loved it, bro. Like it was like when La Ley came on.
They come out like in the 90s, right?
Yeah, it was
Margarita Vázquez was
1990.
there,
1997.
Because I remember seeing the billboards.
1997.
They came out hard. Like,
They have
it
a-
was everywhere.
No commercials.
Remember the jingle? 107.9.
Did they have the show that Batman? Was that there or
No, that was
Wojo.
They did. So Wojo had it. WJO, which is Que Buena now. That's where Batman y Robin used to broadcast from. And that's what I used to listen prior to La Ley.
Okay.
When La Ley comes on, it was commercial free. And it was just like different. It was
Super
fresh.
fresh.
Hasta
Super
las
fresh.
aguas del lago Michigan están temblando.
Remember that? I was like,
You know,
oh my God, this is going to be good. And then the black logo.
Yeah,
like, the
yeah.
whole, like,
It was like,
ooh.
bro,
was
so,
different.
Para mí, it
Modernized.
was like getting on. This is my station, right? So when I go into broadcasting, into the broadcasting school, I said, well, I want to work at La Ley. That's where I want to work.
Okay.
And so I send my resume over to La Ley. I fax it over. I call the next day trying to reach the person in charge. She didn't reply. She didn't pick up her
Was
phone.
that were you trying to do your internship or you were trying to go straight?
No,
into
I was trying to do my internship.
Okay.
That's where I was trying to go. So pasa que la segunda vez se lo mando otra vez. Nada, vato. La tercera, I talked to the fax. I said, this is the last one I'm sending. I said, if you guys don't, this is stupid of me, right? If you guys don't answer me, right. I'm gonna send my resume to La Que Buena, you know?
Oh,
You're about to lose me.
Sí.
You're about to lose me.
Bro, so I send that and she's like, when can you come into an interview? Because I followed up with and that was the third time was when they actually replied to me, when they answered my call. And so she's like, when can you come in? I said, whenever you need me to. That was a Friday. And she interviews me, when can you start working? I said, you need me now, I'll start now. Like, you know, this is what I want to do. So si quieren que empiece desde ya.
Yeah, so you're
it was
really
like your
passionate
dream
like that.
job, right?
Yeah, of course. Entonces, era un viernes. El internship era en el departamento de promociones.
Okay.
So they had an event next Saturday. I mean, that Saturday after, pues mañana, pues, me dice, ¿puedes trabajar mañana? I was like, yeah. I was like, for sure.
Were you working during that time?
No, I wasn't.
No.
I wasn't. Well, my dad had a grocery store. So yo atendía la tienda. Like, it was like,
you did talk about that.
yeah, in California and 44th. We had a little grocery store there. Teníamos suplida con todo, computadoras, playeras, everything.
Anything that sells.
Yeah, dude. Yeah.
Toda una tienda
The
de
original
abarrotes.
Walmart.
Calling
Fireworks, todo. Calling cards. That was the best. That was the
that was
main
the thing
thing,
back
bro.
then, yeah.
Hell
The
yeah.
Bronco one.
Yeah, todas. Salía una así de bronco. Oh, esa es la que quieren, ¿no?
La de
Aquí
alacranes
la
musicales.
tenemos ya. Yeah.
They always had that person que, te recomiendo esta.
Sí. Entonces,
Same phone line.
pues voy y era un evento con la banda Cuisillos en el parque que está en la Pulaski y 31. Is it Petrovsky? Is that what it's called? What is that? Is that
That's by the
Pulaski?
Tupperware thing, no?
It's Pulaski, right? Pulaski
No.
31. ¿Sí, no?
No, there's no.
Hay un home run in pizza in front of it, across from
Oh,
that
okay,
park.
yes. You're talking about 31st and like Costner. Por ahí,
Is it? Yeah.
Entre medio de la Cicero y la Pulaski.
Ándale.
Because I just passed it
Exacto,
today.
ese parque.
I was just there today.
CPS, bro. CPS. This guy works for CPS.
I was just making my rounds.
Yeah, pues ahí. Entonces el evento era some Easter event with banda Cuisillos,
Wasn't it
bro.
kinda scary,
I was
bro?
like, damn. No.
That was your...
I mean,
That was
you're
my first
you're a
event.
radio guy, so no te decía nada, pero I mean, anybody else, you know.
Pues era un pendejito ahí que llegaba a trabajar. I wasn't a radio guy, bro.
But you had the logo though, bro, at least.
No, because it was my first day. So, voy, trabajo el evento, and I was like, bro, like, this is it. You know?
What did they have you doing?
¿Qué estaba haciendo? I remember this. I remember getting to the park. Nobody's there. I'm calling the person that I'm supposed to call. They're not picking up. I got there super early. I drove, and then I saw the La Ley truck driving, and I was like, oh, shit, this is not it, because he was driving somewhere else. So I followed it. Ahí voy yo atrás de la
Pinchy
camioneta.
running and shit.
Yeah, bro. So I drive behind it, and they go to this
"What you
garage.
is, man?"
This garage, like in Berwyn somewhere. And what they were doing was, ahí tenían las cosas, like las bocinas y todo el pedo. So I walked up to the garage. I'm like, hey, I'm supposed to be with the guys this morning, you know. Oh, pues ayúdanos a meter las bocinas aquí. And so it was just setting up for the event. Y de ahí, it was a 3-month internship. Pero yo le dije al jefe mío, le dije, oye, me puedo quedar after my 3 months because this is where I want to be. And I don't want to just stop while I'm here. I said, you don't have to pay me. Like,
But you weren't recording anything yet.
No. I was in promotions. So yo llegaba,
Just the grunt work.
Yo me iba, yo me iba temprano. me iba y organizaba like on Mondays el cuarto de promociones after the weekend, like make sure everything was in order. So I was just, just hustling, bro. So se termina mis 3 meses, and I was like, I haven't accomplished what I want, so can I stay? He was like, yeah, that's cool. Don't worry about it. So I estoy.
Did you have a LA shirt already?
I did have a LA shirt, yeah.
You had the boots?
Yeah.
Because it was a big thing. They used to wear boots and hat, right?
Boots, bro. Yeah,
You didn't have the jacket yet, though, right?
I didn't have the jacket. I got a story about the jacket.
I heard about the story about the jacket.
So,
I was like,
I didn't have the jacket. Haz de cuenta que pues me quedé esos 3 meses y ya, pues ahí pues ya pasaron los 3 meses, estuve un tiempo trabajando y finalmente pedí una oportunidad que Margarita Vázquez me dio la oportunidad. Empecé en port operating overnights. And then just one day, I went on air because I asked her. I've always been somebody that creates opportunities for themselves. Uno siempre dice, no, pide lo que quieres, ¿no? Porque si no lo pides, no te van a escuchar, right?
Que no habla Dios, no lo escucha.
Sí, exactamente, ¿no? Y así justamente fue, ¿no? Esa mañana yo le dije a ella, le pregunté, porque she called to check on if everything was okay. And I was like, can I go on air and just do this, say the weather or whatever.
I want to give away some tickets.
Yeah, no, espérate. No. And she was like, yeah. No, she was no. She was like, no, I have never heard you on air. I can't just put you on air. Yeah. And I sold myself. I was like, trust me, I won't let you down. Give me the opportunity. She does. I go on air, and then she's calling right away. I was like, oh, man.
You're fired. I'm fired.
Yeah, bro. Yeah. But no, she was like, I like it. I like how you sound. That's good. Just continue the rest of the shift on air. Y ya de ahí no paré.
Oh, that's
sweet, man.
Yeah, bro,
you did the traffic report and everything?
Everything, bro. I from there, like, it was just one of those things that I didn't stop, but it was because, I asked for that opportunity because I
go get it.
Yeah, you have to, man. You have to. Y así las cosas fueron.
Ponte vergas, Misael. One day you're gonna learn English, man.
Desde ahí, pues, no paré, ¿no? En la ley trabajé seguidos. Ya después de eso fueron 9 años seguiditos que estuve en la radio haciendo tanto.
As an employee?
As an employee, yeah.
With the internship, how long was it?
The internship, so
you said a little longer.
Yeah. So
After
it was probably about a month or two. No, I lie because I was hired in October 2001. Yeah, October 2001. No, I lie. I graduated in October. I got hired in August. So in August 2001, so I went from desde febrero hasta agosto. Y desde febrero fue cuando empecé la escuela y ya después los 3 meses del internship, and I don't do math, so.
It's cool, neither do we.
That's what.
That sounds like a really long time, man.
How long is
Misa, let me borrow some fingers.
How long is the course at that school?
It was 10 months. I don't know now. No sé ahora, la verdad no sé ahora, pero eran 10 meses, yo nada más estuve 9 porque entré tarde. En vez de entrar en enero, entré en febrero por el proceso y todo el rollo.
Oh, I thought because they give you the list and you're like, oh, this is what I came for.
Bye. No, so.
Amigo, you have the voice already, so you can go already?
No, so, so it's a 10-month course that they do. They do TV and radio, both production and whatnot. Pero te digo, ahorita, I don't know what their curriculum looks like or the time that they're there.
So why you didn't go the TV route?
I got a face for radio, bro.
There's a lot of people on TV that don't.
I like that.
There's a lot of people on TV that don't.
Yeah,
don't
I know. No, nunca me interesó. ¿No? Nunca me interesó. Pero ahora, hoy en día, lo he hecho, ¿no? Like, opportunities. I've created opportunities, like, for Marquee Sports Network. Like, para mí estar en Marquee Sports Network, it was another thing, nuevamente, ¿no? Yo dije, okay, I saw an opportunity and I took it, and this is what happened. Voy caminando en el parking lot de Wrigley Field. Parking lot, Camry lot. That's where I park. That's where we all park. Y ahí estaba el gerente general de Marquee Sports Network. I saw him getting off his car. So dije...
So you weren't stalking him or whatnot?
I was. So I see him get out of his car, and I'm already walking towards mine. Pero ¿qué dije?
Qué casualidad, huh?
Sí. No. Esta es la no casualidad. So what I did was I slowed down. I slowed down.
I gotta tie my shoe.
Yeah. Me hice pendejo así. Slowed down.
This belly gets in the way. Hold on.
So ya cuando vi que ya empiezo yo, cosa que nos íbamos a encontrar.
Okay.
And that's when I was like, all right, I got to chat this guy up because, you know what? I got to create opportunities, right?
He said, whoa, I bumped into you.
Yeah, no. Pues ahí te va. I love, me encanta la NASA. Me encanta los...
He's not talking about your sweater, bro.
Great space program, guys. Not a sponsorship.
Los aviones, todo ese rollo me encanta a mí, ¿no? Entonces, era el fin de semana del show de los aviones. So as I'm walking, and before he gets to me, the plane passes, one of those, they were already getting ready. I was like, oh, I
you planned that too then, huh? You got the plug.
I know. So the plane, and I stop, and I hear the guy say, placata. And I was like, what? Excuse me?
Wishing me Hell yeah.
Yeah. So he was like, oh, did you see that they did a shirt for Carlos Peña, who works on Marquee? He's one of their announcers, ex-baseball player. And I was like, no, I didn't see. He's like, yeah, they did a shirt. It says placata. That's his word. That's what he says and whatnot. And I was like, oh, that's cool. So we started walking together. We started talking. He's like, have you ever seen, the studios at Marquee? I said, no, I've never been. He's like, you have time? I'll take you now. I was like, yeah, I got time. I was like, yeah, I got time, bro. Like,
you're like, Mom,
it's my wedding day, but yeah, I got time.
No, iba para el juego yo. So I get to Wrigley anywhere between 2 and 3 hours prior to the game. So that was one of those times que llegué super early and I'm walking and y te digo, he takes me to the studios. Me lleva a conocer a Carlos Peña because he's like, oh, do you know Carlos? I was like, no, I don't know. I never met him. I know of him, obviously, but I never met him. So me lleva a conocerlo. Después me lleva con los producers and he was like, hey, we need to get Miguel on the pregame show soon. And I was like, in mi mente,
I got it.
Yeah, so soon was the next day. I was on Marquee that Saturday.
Wow.
Yeah. That was Friday, Saturday. I was on Marquee, and then from there they kept inviting me. Pero volvemos, ¿no? Crear oportunidades. It's
Don't be afraid, basically.
You can't be afraid, man. Lo peor que te pueden decir es un no.
Yeah.
Y en la vida, bro. Yeah, en la vida, los nos que vas a recibir, they're going to make that yes so much better. It's going to make that yes taste so much better, once you go through all those no's.
Yeah.
Yo por eso iba a los bailes para que me lo dejas que se acaba de bailar. ¿Vas a bailar? No.
Yeah. Pero algún día iba a llegar una.
Esta me la llevo.
Los bailes en el no. Qué mucha chulada, man.
So how long did you last ahí con la ley?
La ley fueron 9 años.
Oh, wow, that's a good run.
It is, because pasaban locutores, salían, se iban, and I
you
was
were
still
still
there. But why? Because I learned. So when I went to school, yo dije, yo quiero ser la voz. Yo quiero ser el que graba comerciales. And in school, projects, I let them write them. I let them produce it. And I was just reading it.
Okay.
So,
nice.
No, that wasn't nice. I had that big head. Like, my voice is the one that's gonna...
So you had yourself like right here.
Yeah. I was like,
but I mean, you have to. You have to think highly of yourself.
In a certain way.
You're like Ron Burgundy and shit?
Yeah. So in a certain way, it is good and not, okay? It could go to an extreme, but yo en mi mente, yo iba a ser el locutor, yo iba a ser el que iba a hablar nada más. I didn't think about anything else because I didn't want to do anything else.
No production
Nothing.
part.
I was like, I don't want it, because I'm going to be talent.
Is there locutores que son así? Like that they just come in and they just want to talk and don't care about anything else?
Yes.
I mean, other locutores other than what you were thinking at that time.
He's telling us himself, man. You're not listening.
I mean, but I'm saying like
there are locutores that never learned how to run a board because all they did was talk.
Because they have somebody running it for them.
So
you used to be that person. You used to be
in my mind when I started in radio.
No, I mean like you used to be like the producer, pues.
The board op producer. Yeah. So when I started at La Ley, shortly after I did weekends, I started doing production for El Vacilón de la Mañana. So I was producing little segments y chistes y todo. That's what I was doing. But then after that, I was the board op for the show. Then I was part of the show. Then I became co-host, So it was just like one of those things.
So you scaled it up.
I scaled. I started from the bottom. Now we're here. 100%.
Shout out to Drake.
and it was just like that. Desde un principio, ¿no? Ahora, en mi mente, te digo, mi mente era, yo soy talento, cabrón. No, pero mi mentalidad cambió when I went into the radio station and I started seeing, okay, in order for me to get where I want to be, I have to learn everything about this.
Right.
I have to learn everything that is going to make me
you got to be more valuable.
You got to be a necessity for this radio station, right?
I need to be an asset,
basically. Yes. Entonces, aprendí a hacer producción por mi cuenta. Like I me metí a los estudios y hacía producción. Hice una...
Oh, now that I remember, compa, you made our presentación for Frecuencia Calentana.
You did?
Yeah.
Yeah. And so my first production, what I first did was una presentación para Banda Machos, which was played in Villa Corona, en las fiestas allá de Villa Corona.
Sweet. Motherland.
Yeah. So
I gotta look for that now that I'm thinking about it.
yeah. So I started, and then one day out of the blue, for that opportunity with El Vacilón. No, I'm good, bro. Thank you.
Not in front of the camera.
No. No, ya me comí 4. I'm not supposed to eat after 8 o'clock, bro. It's
Right?
9:30.
Time changed. Don't worry about it.
Yeah. So, hace cuenta que, pues nada, o sea, la oportunidad esa de producción vino porque un día me pregunta Margarita Vázquez, me dice, mijo, ¿sabes hacer producción? Yo le dije, sí. Dice, ¿por qué todos me han dicho que no sabes?
Saludos a los haters.
Bro, like 100%. Like 100%.
Oh, for real?
Yeah.
Wow.
So there is haterism in between the
In
whole
radio,
shit.
bro, in radio is snake pit, bro. Like
Wow.
It's
Como los músicos, pues.
Es horrible, cabrón. Entonces, ¿pero por qué me dijeron que tú no sabes? Le digo, bueno, pues casualmente llevaba en mi mano el disco de la presentación de Banda Machos. Aquí, esto lo hice yo.
So yeah, it's just prepared for every situation.
in his back pocket.
Yeah. I was walking around with that shit in my hand. I don't know why,
You
right?
just went with your jacket like,
Yeah. So I give it to her. She plays it. She's like, you recorded? You did this? You produced it? I said, yeah, I produced it. I voiced it. I put everything. She's like, okay, good to know. A la semana, ¿quieres trabajar en el show de las mañanas como productora? I was like, yeah. And that's, you know.
Holy shit.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. And it was,
badass.
it was one of those things que casualmente llevaba esa presentación en mis manos.
And talking about morning shows, how long do you have your morning show? Because you had one, right?
I had-
With
I
La
had-
Bombón.
Yes, I had, well, with her, I had one, and I had one with our sister station, Onda 92,
Yes.
which was,
Like
so,
kind of soft pop, kind of.
yeah. So, haz de cuenta que después de un tiempo que estuve produciendo lo que fue el show de la mañana del Vacilón, SBS, the company that owns La Ley, bought another station, and they were going to do a pop station. So that's when Margarita Vázquez me preguntó a mí, me dijo, ¿te gusta la música pop? I was like, yes, me encanta. They didn't know shit about it.
I love Julieta Venegas.
Yeah, bro.
Fake it till you make it, man.
Alex Sintek. I was like, what? The who?
He looks like Franco Escamilla.
Yeah, bro. Yeah, he does.
Hope he sees
But I was
this.
like, yeah. I was like, I love it. Me encanta. Es lo que escucho cuando no estoy escuchando la ley.
Bro.
Yeah. So she was like,
Balls.
okay. She's like, okay, dice, te tengo un trabajo de full time. Vas a hacer los las mañanas en la estación que acaba de comprar la compañía. And I was like, shit. That same day, bro, I'm driving. I'm trying to find like
You went to
what the
Listening
hell-
to everything.
what the hell to play,
He
you know?
put Pandora on.
Yeah.
Rubio.
I don't even remember but I remember that I was driving and I was looking for stuff. And it was just one of those things that I was
YouTube
like,
didn't exist then, right?
I don't know. I
You couldn't
maybe
use YouTube. Los mejores pop
probably
hits.
not.
it was,
I don't
you
know.
had to go to
but I
like,
do remember that I started looking, you know, and it was probably when I got home or
Pinche LimeWire.
LimeWire.
I'm giving his
Yeah,
computer
bro.
a virus and
Yeah,
shit.
dude, hell yeah.
I need this job.
Ajá, exacto. Y pues nada, o sea, estuve haciendo el morning show on a pop station, which for me, before what I'm doing now, that was the best time of my radio career. No, I'm good, thank you. That was the best time of my radio career en lo que fue haz de cuenta que todo lo que hice en esa estación, en experiencias, en crecimiento. And I look back on it today and
So that was like your first big step into
yes,
like.
it was because I was actually like a morning show host. Like it was like everything was for me.
and
This is you.
you were doing your own production as
What
well.
was it called,
Yeah,
bro?
yeah.
I mean, I honestly didn't listen to
Man,
all that.
it was Onda 92,
Yeah.
El Mañanero.
Say
El
your whole
Mañanero,
intro.
yeah.
How would you say it?
El Mañanero. No, you know.
Now you
Yeah,
cheese.
bro, yeah.
Now you're nervous. Huh?
Yeah. But looking back on it now, I wish I knew what I know now then.
Bro.
And I would have such a hell of a show, bro.
Recently, you were still on the radio, right? Or
I'm still on. Yeah. What do you mean?
like you're still like doing shows, pues.
Yeah, bueno, tengo un show diario de deportes.
It doesn't stop, man.
Yeah, 1200 a.m. I do a show from 10 a.m. to 12 p.m.
No,
And it's all sports.
on
Like
AM.
AM, yeah, 1200 a.m.
You're keeping them up right now.
No, FM, sorry.
No, I'm off tomorrow. And so
You're off, even though
I'm off.
big
There's
news that you
the
said.
World Baseball Classic is on, so they take my spot there.
But the Bears, though, bro, the Bears take
I
over
know, man.
everything.
I won't be able to talk about this until Friday. Yeah, so I don't have anything from here.
All the free agency va a pasar.
I know, bro.
We're gonna sign a couple more
Yeah,
guys.
dude, hell yeah. So, pues sí, hago eso los fines de semana. Estoy en Latino Mix también. I'm on there weekends.
I think that's where I heard you last time.
I'm there. I'm on WBBM News Radio. Like, I'm everywhere.
badass,
Yeah,
so,
dude, like, and it's funny. Gas is, what do you do for a living? I talk. That's just,
That is badass,
Eres chismoso. huh?
yeah.
So how did it go from? I mean, how did it feel going from doing radio for Mexican music to pop to now being a guy that talks 24/7? Because
For real,
in
man.
talk radio,
I know.
like in the sports,
Sounds like a
you
lot
gotta-
of pressure.
You gotta
yeah.
talk like a lot. Like before, like we're gonna go on a commercial break or
Sí,
vamos
la
a poner la de
canción,
Ramón Ayala.
sí. No, es muy
Dude,
diferente.
eating, snacking, or
muy
whatever.
diferente.
And even in Spanish and in English, it's like so impressive because I heard you Puerto Rican talk.
Yeah.
And it's like so like Puerto Rican.
So talking about that, where's Miguelón from?
Born and raised in Chicago.
La isla de Encanto,
grew up
bro,
in-
de-
Yeah, grew up in Humboldt Park.
Shout out.
yeah.
No,
La
lo
Sierra,
bueno sale de Humboldt
La
Park.
Sierra de Humboldt Park, man. I'm telling you.
Después de, bueno, y mi mamá nació en San Sebastián, Puerto Rico. My dad from Ciudad Juárez, Mexico. They both met at Wells High School.
Oh, they went to Wells too? So
they
is
went
that
to
why you
Wells
went
as well.
there?
Yeah, I
You
was like, I
tried
gotta
to
go.
take
with
The
my friends.
legacy, the
I was trying to
legacy.
find my better half.
Your
Never
cheeky
happened.
baby.
she wasn't here.
Yeah, I know, right? It was
Maybe
like
she
they
was at
lied
Lane
to
Tech,
me.
bro.
Right? Well, casualmente I did go out with somebody from Lane Tech.
Oh, you needed somebody smart, man. Somebody smart.
Yeah, so, pero sí, so I'm half Mexican, half Puerto Rican.
Sweet, man. But like I said, man, you can hear it. Like I heard your podcast today. Me la aventé todos.
Yeah,
And I was
thank you,
like,
thank
man,
you. Ya voy a aventarme unos episodes. Ya
You
verán.
should, man.
Like, estos días que no tengo nada que hacer es lo que me
You
voy a
should,
dedicar
man.
a
Because I was
hacer,
like,
yeah.
okay, what else?
Like,
Damn it.
So usually before a pod, we always text you like, so who's coming on and
Yeah.
what homework we gotta do?
Right,
And like,
right. No,
all right,
that's
this is
how
the
it should be.
person,
Yeah.
and then find whatever you guys could. Ahorita,
Yeah.
you know,
Yeah,
like-
no, I went into the podcast. I was like, well, he has to tell a story, and sure enough, you did. You told your whole story.
Yeah.
and I was like, damn, like he's a very interesting guy. Like,
Thank you.
Well,
Thank
obviously back in LA, we knew who you were, but
Yeah.
like. Well, obviously we kind of lost track. Well, I kind of lost track
Yeah.
because I'm into like straight up Mexican music. De ahí no salgo.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
I'm like,
know?
¿dónde está? Like
Yeah.
now he's doing this,
Right.
and he's like yelling at me like he's doing this now. I'm like, well, yo no sé, güey. Like
Fíjate, y es muy interesante, ¿no? Porque cuando entro a Univision,
So you went to the competition then?
yes, well, that was meant. I went back to LA. I had a second stint at LA.
They gave
and
him a
that's when I
blank
did
check, man.
That's when I did my morning show.
Okay.
So morning shows that I participated in were El Vacilón de la Ley, El Chocolate de la Mañana, Beto y su Vacilón, and then mine was
Beto Carreto?
Beto Carreto, yeah.
Okay.
wow.
Yeah, so I worked with Beto Carreto, and then I did mine was Arriba Chicago
Yes. Con la bombón.
con Bombón, yeah. With,
Here's one question. How come Chocolate didn't last that long?
Se derritió, güey.
It gets hot in Chicago, bro.
Chocolate
like
is a real
he-
good friend of mine.
Yeah.
And
Because I heard him on your
yeah,
podcast.
yeah, and I can honestly say a Chocolate le faltó disciplina. Disciplina is, and trust me, to this day I struggle with it. But en los últimos años, no sé qué premios fue, pero escuché a Daddy Yankee hablar de su legado. Un día que le entregaron un premio de esos
He's
al legado.
become a big, like a real influencer.
Yeah.
Not the guys that are on YouTube fucking
Yeah.
eating soap or whatever.
Right,
And I'm
right.
talking about
Hey,
like,
don't be talking about us, bro.
like I'm talking like a real person that you actually look at their history, look at what
Right.
their struggles have
Oh,
been.
yeah.
And he's been big on his wording and what he puts out there, like, you know, trying to inspire the younger crowd.
Well, he inspired the hell out of me.
and
I heard en un premio. en
Being
una-
out there,
le-
what, how many years he's been out there? Like,
Dude, incredible.
Pretty much our whole
amazing.
childhood,
Yeah,
right?
Yeah. So, un día, en ese premio que le entregaron, no sé si fue el año pasado o el antepasado, pero él habló de la clave para él fue la disciplina. Entonces, para nosotros, para cada uno de nosotros, lo más importante debe ser la disciplina. En todos los aspectos. Por ejemplo, Tino ahorita se chingó media pizza.
I'm going to pay for it tomorrow.
and going. He's still going.
I'm going to pay for it tomorrow. Bro.
And so what I've been doing, my lack of discipline comes in that same
Yeah.
aspect. Pero lo que he hecho ahora como solamente de las 12 del mediodía a las 8 de la noche.
You-
I'm
Are you
doing that.
fasting or is it
I'm doing
just-
the intermittent fasting.
Does it work?
I've dropped.
Really?
Pero tampoco, o sea, mira, yo también paso de lanza, porque a mí me falta disciplina en ese aspecto. Pero sí, he bajado, desde que empecé a hacerlo, he bajado 5 libras, que no es nada. Pero para alguien que ya llega voy a cumplir 42 años, si Dios lo quiere,
Oh, it's harder,
y me lo
man.
permite,
It
es
gets harder
mucho más
when-
difícil. Yo antes en una semana te bajaba 10 libras.
Yeah.
Entonces, pero ahí es donde estoy trabajando en mejorar mi disciplina en ese aspecto. ¿Por qué? Porque as I'm getting older, like I don't want to get to a point where I have to take meds every day. I don't take anything. I went to the doctor last year, got checked
You're pretty
out,
healthy.
and she was like, I'm surprised that you don't go to the doctor and yet you are healthy, you know? So she did tell me, estás muy gordo.
Did you always keep yourself healthy? Like
A todos los dicen
like
eso.
eat well?
No, absolutamente no. O sea,
You were huskier before, right?
yeah.
I mean, I was looking through your. I was trying to catch up on your Instagram and all that stuff. So I'm like,
He was creeping.
I'm
Say it. You're
I'm like, I
creeping.
remember him without a beard and a double chin.
Yeah, oh yeah, for sure. Por eso no me la tumbo, güey. Ahí está.
That's why. Es por eso me la pinté.
Ya somos tres, güey.
Yeah. So, pero es la disciplina, ¿no? Vuelvo a eso. Y en mi carrera como profesional, la disciplina me ha ayudado un montón en los últimos años en tener presente lo que yo tengo que hacer, cómo es que yo me tengo que preparar para un partido de béisbol, cómo me tengo que preparar para un partido de hockey. Todo eso, o sea, me ha ayudado un montón. ¿A qué hora tengo que llegar? Antes me valía madre, llegaba 40 minutos antes del juego y ahí abrían el micrófono y ya lo pendejo, ¿no?
Yeah.
Hoy en día llego 2-3 horas antes de cada partido. Yes, because and the way my mind works, I need it fresh.
Right.
I need to prepare right then and there.
Now, were you always a sports fanatic that you got into it like that?
I did.
Or was
I
it just
was.
like
Or did you say it like, yeah, I love sports. Throw me on there.
Kind of like the pop thing.
Hey, that's a funny story about that, actually.
You're kidding. Now that you say it, I'll tell you that. No, but so no. Yes, I grew up.
Yes and no.
Yeah, because I grew up going to Wrigley to see Sammy.
Right.
Mark Grace.
Yeah, like no, Mark Grace, no. Más el tiempo de Sammy. Kerry Wood's my all-time, and I got to meet him at the convention last
Talking about, you had a
year.
store in the South Side. What made you go from? Well, you were in the South Side. And
Were you always a Cubs fan?
Were you always a Cubs fan?
yeah.
Or
Born from the moment that I set foot for the first time at Wrigley, I was like, "There's nothing else."
The energy is amazing, right?
Yeah,
you know what for me
it
was
is.
the Rookie of the Year movie.
Oh,
That did it
yeah,
for me. I'm
really?
like, oh, I'm a Cubs fan. Yeah. And then he lived in the North Side.
They're gonna have a bobblehead giveaway de él this year.
I don't have to go to that game.
Yeah. Pero sí, o sea, mira, para mí era eso, ¿no? Me encantaban los deportes. Never in my wildest dreams pensé que algún día yo iba a estar atrás de un micrófono narrando partidos para mis equipos.
That's fucking
Like,
wild,
dude.
dude.
Bro, like never imagined. So I have stories. So Bears, when I go back to LA, Bene hired me. Bene calls me one day.
Bears.
Bears.
Radio, right?
Bears.
They were the main Spanish for the Bears.
Bene me llama un día y me dice,
Shout out to Bene.
Me dice un día, Miguel, necesito ayuda. Estos locutores se pasan de lanza, necesito un huevo izquierdo.
she's very straightforward.
Yeah. So that was me. That was the left one. So I was like, okay, Bene, I will go back because I was very adamant about
You were
not
not
going
LA
back
at
into
that time,
radio.
right?
No. I was out.
What
So
were
I
you
was
doing at
doing.
that
So
time,
this
if
is
you
what
don't-
I was doing. So during that period of time, I was still recording commercials because si me caían presentaciones or drops para DJs. Working with a friend of mine down in Kentucky, doing remote stuff for them. I actually did a show remotely de 3 a 7 en Sinaloa.
Oh, shit.
Yeah, I was always
Cruzando cuadros and all this shit.
Did you talk different when you did Sinaloa?
No. Fíjate, cosa curiosa, no.
Fierro, you know, shit like that, or-
No, I was just being me, and they liked it. The girls that were there siempre estaban llamando para mandar saludos a los muchachos de la MS. Es apenas cuando estaba surgiendo la MS allá en Sinaloa. And it was pretty cool. It was one of those things, yeah. Yeah, no, acá ni me salían, güey. O sea, nada que ver. Yo les preguntaba, ¿y quiénes son? No, son los muchachos de aquí que están
I used to work in a marisquería. Actually, we was just hearing
It's
a
crazy, dude.
podcast
It's crazy.
of them with Jordi,
Uh-huh.
and they talk about their beginnings. They worked at a marisquería. They were charging 1,800 pesos for an hour.
Yeah.
which
Y
was
las
like-
muchachas me contaban que ahí los
¿En la
veían, que ahí
marisquería?
tocaban. Yeah, like legit.
That's crazy.
Yeah, y hoy piensan, like, dude, like, that's amazing, you know, these
Like, who
guys.
they
Y vuelvo,
became,
¿no?
we were
Historias,
there,
¿no?
yeah,
Esas historias de quiénes son. Pero anyway, durante ese tiempo también fue cuando hice lo del casino as a blackjack dealer.
Oh shit! I did not know.
You're all over the place, man.
Yeah, bro. So when I
What
left
casino?
LA, I was working at Hollywood Casino in Joliet.
Oh shit!
Blackjack
Nights
dealer.
or day?
Todo.
You ever
Mostly at nights because we had a thing. So here's the thing. Estaba haciendo esas cositas, pero también llegas al punto donde, pues, o sea, it doesn't provide, you know, everything that you need because obviously you're not working a full-time job elsewhere.
Right.
So I was like, okay, I need to find something else in the meantime, en lo que regreso a la radio de tiempo completo, ¿no? Entonces, tengo un primo que estaba trabajando ahí en el casino, le mando un mensaje, le digo, oye, Rogelio, de casualidad no están contratando a nadie ahí en el casino.
Were you always good with cards and stuff?
No.
So it was just, bro. He said, yeah, I'm the shit. I play Pokemon, I play Yu-Gi-Oh!
No, nada que ver, güey. O sea, nunca me paré en una mesa de
The
de
message of this
blackjack.
fucking pod is fucking fake it till you make it.
Yeah. So,
I'll learn on the job. It's cool.
I played
So-
pods. What was the little circular one? The pods, were they?
The Beyblades, man. The one you spin.
No, you're too young for it. You remember there was some little circular one? También que you kind of hit them. You make it like a little stack. You probably
no, I don't. I don't recall.
No.
Sorry.
Tino, get close to the mic, man.
So,
I just thought about it.
Acting like you're not a singer.
so hace cuenta que me dice, mira, ¿sabes qué? Go on the website. If you find something that you like, let me know. I'll tell my boss to hire you. And so I go on the website y encontré algo que decía Celebrity Pit Dealer. I was like, ooh, celebrity, that sounds interesting, right? So this
is my shit
I was
right
like,
here.
Hell yeah.
Celine
So I
Dion,
click
yeah,
on
come
it.
in.
I click on it y decía, must know how to sing, lip sync, perform, dance, whatever. And I was like, it intrigued me even more.
Okay.
So agarro y le digo al primo, le llamé, le digo, oye, esta cosa que dice aquí, pit dealer, what is it? Me dijo, van a tener un área en el casino donde van a tener imitadores de diferentes artistas. And they're going to be dealing blackjack, but then they're also going to perform.
Oh, shit.
And I was like, well, I could sing like Elvis, bro. Like,
No.
I was like, yeah, I was like, I could sing like Elvis. And he was like, okay, let me call my boss. Calls his boss and tells her, Tony, we have an Elvis guy. Okay, can he come down to the casino right now? I said, he calls me back. Can you come now? I was like, yeah. So I hop on my car, bro. Drive to Joliet. Take my guitar with me. Yeah, boy, chinga.
All suited up?
No, just my guitar. Just my guitar.
Okay.
Yeah, my
You
guitar.
were suited and everything?
No, I do own a suit now, but not then. So I voy con mi guitarra a Joliet. Llego al casino. They take me to this room in the casino. They were barely, so iban a abrir el casino because había quemado el Empress. Se quemó, they remodeled it, they made it Hollywood Casino.
Yeah.
So they wanted to have everyone ready by the opening of the casino, which was in December. So haz de cuenta que voy, I sing a couple of my songs to the managers there, to the main, la mera jefa. Canté unas cuantas canciones de Elvis. I leave, and they're like, "Oh, we'll let you know." Da, da, da. So as soon as I'm getting into my car, my cousin's calling me. He's like, "Hey, my boss said to start growing your sideburns." So, yeah. So,
Y píntatelas.
I know.
At least you have
some.
Yeah. So I started. Yeah. So I got hired that day, and entonces me mandaron a dealer school. Ahí mismo en el casino. So that's where I learned how to deal.
School for that.
Oh yeah.
No shit.
So they sent me to dealer school, and so to get into dealer school, you have to take a math test. But since I was Elvis and they needed me quick, they didn't have me take a math test. You would have failed.
They said, hey, you know how to do math? He
That
said,
was the one thing I never liked in school was math.
Same.
Yeah, dude. So, pero tuve que aprender de todos modos porque tienes que saber, o sea, tienes 7 vatos enfrente de ti. Tienes que saber cada quien lo que tienen what you dealt to them. You got to know exactly. You got to know because when you come back and you're going to send another card now, you got to know that what card he needs to drop out. So ya cuando perdió, ya lo quitas, te vas con el otro. Y tienes que saber todo. Y si ganó, yo tengo que saber cuánto le va a pagar este cabrón. Si me apostó $5, you know. And there's tricks behind it. So a chip de $5 and if you win a hand of blackjack, 2 gets 3. You know, so it goes like that. So 2 chips gives you 3.
I'm lost.
You know, so
this sounds stressful already.
I like it.
$25 on
We're gonna play right now when we're done.
on a blackjack. You know, you get $37.50. You know, and you have to know all those little math combinations. And so I learned how to. I was nervous as hell, but yeah, I learned how to do it, and then I would perform. That was my thing.
Elvis suit.
In an Elvis suit. And so
Fucking badass.
yeah, dude, so I would deal in an hour, sometimes an hour and a half, and then I go. We had a stage in the middle. And I'd go up and sing.
Like
And-
a
yeah.
stripper.
You ain't nothing but a hound dog.
Yeah. So that was my thing, my
When
way
you were
of getting
dealing,
my.
were you dealing in the Elvis voice or no?
Oh, every time they're like, "Can you say thank you?" I was like, "Yeah, thank you very much."
You're like, that's gonna be an extra tip.
Yeah. And it was cool when you
Thank
talk
you for
about
the 5.
tips. When you talk about tips, it was cool because so it was only 6 tables, I believe.
Okay.
Yeah, 6 tables. And the tips would only go to us. When you go to a casino and deal, the tips go to everyone in that casino. like the table.
So yours only go to your section?
Only went to our section.
Oh, nice.
So I was making shit ton of money, bro. I was making like $52 an hour. At
Thank
times,
you,
know?
Elvis.
Wow. Yeah. But I wasn't happy because it was not what I wanted to do. Okay. The only time I was happy was when I was on stage singing, because dealing with people's money is so stressful,
and then you get the unhappy people.
You got attitude. Bro, I had a guy come up to me, bro, and in menos de una hora, it was like 40 minutes. He lost $15,000 to me.
Oh my God.
Like after the first 5,000 that he pulled out, I was like, you should be smart and walk away. But he brings out another 10 because now he's chasing. Yeah. And after those 10, he brings out another 5.
I've done that before.
Yeah, you chase,
because you got
there's
money.
There's a song
bro.
says, como dice, you never count your money when you're sitting at a table. Yeah. You got to know when to hold them, know when to fold them. Yeah. And that's the thing, you got to know when you're out because if not, bro, te come el casino, no? So did that for a couple of years and it was amazing. From there fue donde me ve un señor. Que en paz descanse, mi gran amigo Joe Baines me ve. And he was like, hey, listen, I have an oldies band. Would you like to come listen to us? Nice. I was like, absolutely. So I go listen to the band. And then they're like, oh, and we have a special guest that's going to sing with us today. I was like, oh, cool. They got a special guest. It was me.
You didn't know.
I didn't know.
He's like, where's he at? I thought it was your ego. Like,
He's like, fucking.
No. So they learned some Elvis songs to play. And they're like, oh, yeah. And he works at the casino. He's Elvis. I was like, oh, shit, that's me.
So where's this other guy? Huh?
Yeah, right,
out of nowhere, the shades came out.
Yeah, dude. So ahí voy.
He rips off his shirt and the suit's on.
De casualidad, he had that with him too.
De casualidad was in my car. No, so I went up and I sang and after that he's like, hey, we practice on Thursdays. Would you like to come listen? I was like, yeah, of course. I love music, Yeah. So I went and he was like, give me a list of songs that that you like so that you can play them with us, just so that you can have some fun there. Llegó el jueves, se aprendieron otras 3-4 canciones.
What's your favorite Elvis song?
Kentucky Rain.
I'm gonna have to listen to it.
Yeah, that's my favorite all time. And
I like how he just rapid fire. He's just waiting for you to ask him.
So I go Thursday and I performed those songs with them in the basement. Y después me dicen, would you be interested in being our lead singer? I was like, yeah, like let's go, And I started singing with this band que eran todos viejitos, todos mayores, todos eran maestros
¿Así como
retirados.
Faustino que se pintan la barba? ¿O?
No.
They weren't ashamed of it.
If you don't mind me asking.
Yeah.
Is the money in the English music as good as the Mexican music?
No.
You did
The Mexican music,
right?
bro. They'll be like, ustedes si ganan, les cobran un chingo por una hora.
Ahorita, bro. Ahorita ya no.
Because you did the Mexican thing at one point.
But what I did was like,
bro, what did you do, man? We looked up to you. We wanted to be Miguel, bro. We wanted to be El Ángel de la Banda, bro.
I recorded a CD back in 2007.
Oh, okay.
Y
con banda, ¿no?
Con banda, junté músicos de la banda de Julio Preciado, de la banda del Recodo, allá en California. Grabaron el disco. Y fui allá a California, metí la voz y todo el pedo, ¿no?
You gotta send these tracks, man.
Pero eso era, go on YouTube. Miguel el Ángel de la Banda,
bro.
It's not my YouTube. I don't know who put them up, but they're there.
Shout out to them.
Yeah, right. Yeah.
Who did your logo?
Someone's making money out of you.
Moy.
Was it Moy?
Moy, yeah.
Moy did his logo. Bro.
Yeah, Moy did my logo.
Moy, come on, bro.
Yeah.
Oh shit,
That's my boy.
He's like,
El del huevo.
So we have an inside joke, bro.
Oh yeah, Moy's my boy, man.
It's not
He's
an
beautiful
inside
to
joke.
us. He's our sponsor.
Yeah.
So tell us the joke, bro.
Well,
it's not a joke. It's a reality.
It's a reality. Moy was one of our first guests.
One.
Okay.
On Ciudad de Tierra Caliente, obviously, we're from the same regions. And they came on and everything was fucking fun,
amazing.
Dude. Like, it was amazing.
It was a good talk,
These guys stayed drinking till 4 or 5 in the morning.
We did. We did.
I was at home already.
So
I think he was sitting on his couch back here.
Yeah.
I go to edit the video.
Yeah.
And I noticed
he had a rip in his jeans, basically, between his legs.
It's
like right where his balls would be.
His nut was hanging out.
Oh.
So I sent him the picture of it. I'm like, Mo, your nut was hanging out, bro. And he said, no, Celso, borra esa chingadera. Mañana vamos a hacerlo otra vez. I'm like, nope. it's going out like that, my boy. But like the thing is, we didn't know how to do it. Like I didn't know how to like crop in, chop it off. Like we were so new at this.
We didn't we didn't go to the Illinois broadcasting.
Yeah, that was the problem. I'm calling him at 3 a.m. I'm like, bro,
we're trying to figure this shit out.
Like, bro, YouTube. Like we're sending each other YouTube. Like, no, it doesn't work, bro. Like I need you to come here.
Fucking throw the logo in there. Fuck it.
Yeah, put in logo in some ball or some shit. Like, bro, they're gonna tell. But at the end, that was a good experience because that was the first time we learned how to crop in or move things around. We're like, oh shit! But that was like that's our experience with Moy.
Moisés es mi amigazo del alma, de verdad.
The real life huevo cartoon, man.
Yeah, no, good guy.
He is a good guy, man.
Yeah. Pero lo mío, mira.
How long did El Ángel de la Banda last?
Bro, like, so I did tour in Pennsylvania.
Whoa.
I did a couple of gigs there. I did Milwaukee. I did
Sold out and everything.
I did El Aragón. I did algunos de los salones. You know, so it was cool. You know, me saqué esa espinita. Pues, you know, and obviously, si no tienes dinero, no llegas a nada. O sea, es la realidad del negocio de la música, ¿no? Entonces,
Unless
pues no había.
Really,
and I was a shitty singer. You know, I was. I listen to my CD now. Like,
I gotta hear it. I gotta judge for myself.
Entonces, haz de cuenta que ya después, haz de cuenta que yo con los señores de la banda de Oldies ahí aprendí a cantar. Like
how you're supposed to sing.
Yes,
like,
they
really?
taught me. They were all retired
you
music
gotta use
teachers.
your diaphragm, boy.
Yeah, they were all retired music teachers.
Why you gotta say it, boy?
Like,
imagine that.
no,
That's racist.
Attaboy. Like that was his thing. Like my friend Joe was,
Amigo.
hey, sonny boy. Oh, amigos. Yeah. Pero
So you were saying the pay? No, it wasn't.
no, nos pagaban. A veces, y era, o sea, tocábamos en
You guys had to pay them.
Yeah, bro. Like, no. Joe Bain is my guy. Like, que te digo, falleció de cáncer, lamentablemente. Él nos pagaba de su bolsa a veces porque no querían pagar, ¿no? Pero él quería esto. Like, he wanted it so much that he was like, I don't care, I'll pay you guys, you know? Like
just jam out.
Yeah, exactly. That's what he wanted to do. And ya en sus últimos días, we did a jam session at his house. Like, fuimos todos. So it was pretty cool. Pero ahí fue donde yo aprendí a cantar, verdaderamente. Y pues nada, o sea, te digo, siempre ha sido, y mencionabas hace ratito con los deportes, pues regreso a la ley. I know this like we veered off like so much, right? Pero regreso a la ley porque Bene me pide, necesito que me ayudes, ¿no? Y yo le dije, ok, Bene, yo voy a regresar, pero quiero dos cosas. Quiero morning show y quiero ser la voz de los Bears. Le digo, I don't know. I'm not telling you need to fire everyone or.
That's when Kyle Orton was there?
No, it's Jay Cutler.
Jay Cutler?
Oh,
Our best quarterback.
Yes,
Yeah.
sir.
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
So,
Shout outs.
I was like, I don't know how it's going to happen, but I'm just letting you know that's what I want, right?
Have you heard his podcast? It's actually pretty good.
Jay, no.
It's
I haven't.
funny.
I bet it is. I bet it is, bro.
He's straight
He
up.
looks super dull,
yeah,
but he has a
Right?
personality.
Yeah.
No, he has a personality.
I'm gonna have to listen to him.
Yeah,
Yeah,
so
listen to it.
yeah, he is. No, entonces pues qué pasa? En 3 meses I was doing morning show and I was the voice of the Bears.
Did you ever meet him? Jay Cutler?
Jay, yeah, I saw, pero relación no había tanto porque en aquel tiempo no sé lo que sé hoy día, ni tengo lo que he aprendido, no lo que en los años que llevo ahora. Pero back to you, like not knowing what the hell I was doing, I didn't, you know. But when they said, Miguel, we're going to change the broadcasting team de los Bears, tienes un demo, porque me dijeron que tú estabas interesado en hacerlo. I was like, yeah, I have a demo. Bullshit. Yo abrí un juego de los Bears Giants on YouTube, bro, and I recorded me like play-by-play for that game.
He said, touchdown.
So les mando ese demo. They're like, okay. Then I did the next game, which was a Monday Night Football against the Packers. That was my first. Yeah, that was my first game.
Did it come
when
to
they
you
injured?
No fucking pressure. No pressure.
Yeah. When they injured Aaron Rodgers, when he was out for that season, that was my first game.
The rookie defensive end,
he was taken down hard on his shoulder.
Yeah,
y se rompió la clavícula.
he was from like Chicken Mountain Road.
Bro, I don't know all that. I know.
Because they were making fun of him. Like this guy came from a freaking farm. I forgot his name.
Oh yeah.
I gotta get Faustino have a laptop because
Yeah, right?
he has to Google a lot of shit. Hold on.
They will make fun of him all the time because they're like, oh, he just came from a chicken road. No sé dónde, but so.
Yeah.
Did it come to you very fluently, bro? Was it easy for you, like, because you got to be like,
It wasn't easy because so when they tell me that I'm going to do that game, what do? I go to Google and I Google like how to say things in Spanish. You know,
but were you Googling like
did you practice at home? Like,
oh yeah.
when you're watching a game?
I was practicing because Yo dije que yo sabía, güey, ¿no?
Yeah.
Y no la pudiera cagar on a Monday Night Football game broadcast, you know?
Against the Packers.
Yeah. So, you know, I went and I did what I needed to do. Vuelvo, la disciplina no estaba ahí como está hoy en día. But I think I did a good job. You know, I've listened to them because you go to NFL now, you could listen to those on their app. They have
the archives and shit.
Yeah, the archives. Yeah, I can listen to it. And now I listen, I'm like, man, you sound like shit, bro. You know? pero obviamente, no, el trabajo.
But obviously, you knew the sport enough.
Yeah, exactly.
Your problem was the translation, I guess?
Translation, you know, and now.
Se cayó este pendejo.
Sí.
He was the Wells sack leader, bro.
Y lo que he aprendido hoy en día es que no, por ejemplo, en hockey, las palabras que ellos usan, forecheck and all that stuff, I don't use them. I use relatable words that I describe every single thing that's going on. I follow that puck like there's no tomorrow.
Yeah.
Cuando
that's more like football, right? Like hockey.
Más rápido, 10 veces más rápido.
Yeah, hell yeah, dude. Because that puck is fucking moving fast as hell.
You can't really follow it. Like,
it's not a soccer ball, my friend.
It's so fast.
Yes.
So, and I have to be on that puck every step of the way, like at every second to know where that puck is at.
So you do hockey and baseball right now. Have you ever mixed up the both where you're like, oh shit, Javi Baez as a Black Hawk? Holy crap, no.
Cuando me dicen que if I could broadcast a hockey game, I was like, yeah. I had never been to a hockey game. I had watched maybe 3 or 4 hockey games.
He's been to the parades, no man.
Yeah. So my first ever hockey game at the United Center was for me to broadcast the game. But I wasn't going to say no. Like, there was no way in hell that I was going to say, I don't know how.
How the hell did you learn the names? Because I heard you say the names.
Yeah, I have to.
I wanted to ask about that because I like watching a lot of pre-production, and they have the production meetings. Like, dicen que we have a sheet of the stats and the names. Like, is that what you guys get too?
Esos son los americanos.
So what about you guys? Como Tino, Googling everything?
I gotta find everything on my own. Now, they do provide us...
So te dejan a morir a ti solo?
La mayor parte del tiempo. Blackhawks are very, very good about getting us... Like, when I get there, I have a stack of stats. I have a stack of, like, noticeable things, like 3 players to watch for the other team. My job is to know how to say their names, how to find their pronunciations. The guy who...
And in a Spanish accent too, right?
No, because I respect who they are. Like, it's like, por ejemplo...
So you're mixing the Spanglish.
In their names, I say
so
how
you don't
their
say
name
like
is supposed to be.
Patrick Kane?
No.
Okay.
Did you cry when Patrick Kane got traded?
What was that?
Did you cry when Patrick King?
I didn't cry. I'll tell you why. Because I know that all these
old,
trades.
Man?
No, he's not. He's
not.
good. He's good. Patrick Kane is good.
I could have sworn he was on the same team when
he's been there forever.
Yeah,
But
he was. But he started very, very young. He was the number 1 draft pick.
I think he was 18 or something.
Hey, you guys lose me when you guys talk about sport. I'm like,
Yeah.
Well, Patrick. No, when you guys talk about the Bears, I'm like, I don't know about the Bears, man.
Ya te gusta tipo béisbol, ¿verdad?
I like baseball.
Y Misael me encanta, ¿no? Cuando está ahí en el juego.
Hold on. Why you gotta tell him, el béisbol? Like, come on, man, he knows English. I'm fucking around with you.
No, it's because every time I go to the game, I hit him up. I'm like, hey, man,
you always ask me for free tickets.
No.
Como se can I sit on your lap?
No, not that.
I
just hit him up like, hey, Miguel, I'm in the game today.
He said, okay, cool story, bro.
No, you're not. Actually, one of the last, it was cold already, actually. The last time I hit him up, and he's like, hey, you want to come up to the booth? I'm like, yeah, that'd be.
Oh,
yeah. So we went up to the booth.
This is why I hit you up.
It's fucking cold, please.
It was actually both my kids' first baseball game.
Oh,
the little ones.
Sweet.
Yeah,
so,
and so it's cool to, when you have, y por ejemplo, Misael que está escuchando, le mando un saludo.
I listen.
And I get people, like, it's crazy. I get people to listen on the MLB app from different parts of the world, and it's amazing.
Badass, man.
It really is, because volvemos, ¿no? El que tu voz alcance a tantas partes del mundo es algo verdaderamente increíble, ¿no? Pero sí, volvemos a la disciplina, ¿no? Es muy importante en mi vida en ese aspecto. Ahora, algún día podré ser flaco y va a ser por la disciplina, pero por ahorita no. Ahorita la disciplina se va a mantener en el trabajo, ¿no?
Coming to podcasts like this with pizza in the front.
So,
like,
right.
Boy,
So how long did you do the baseball thing before you went to do the hockey thing? Because you did Bulls games.
I did Bulls.
You did Bears games.
Yes.
but you did the Bears first, right?
I did the Bears first.
What Chicago team haven't you done?
The Fire, and that's by choice. I don't like soccer.
So the other sports, you don't watch them, but yeah, I know.
But I did broadcast a game for the University of Notre Dame against Louisville in Louisville.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
For soccer.
Were you going for the Notre Dame or?
No, I was going for Louisville because that's they hired me for that broadcast.
Oh, they hired you. Oh,
Yeah. I've done games for the University of Louisville for soccer and basketball.
How does that work? Because I hear a lot of talk radio, right? So then I hear like other sport anchors, right? And then they go do games for like DePaul and for like Notre Dame.
Right.
Like do those companies just reach out to you and tell you like, hey, I heard you and I think you did a good job. You want to come and work for us?
Sí, es básicamente eso, ¿no? Por ejemplo, conmigo ha sido la conexión que tengo en Louisville con mi amiga que runs that station down there.
Oh, okay.
So that's how that has happened for me.
You do it in Spanish or in English?
Spanish.
In Spanish?
Spanish, yeah.
There's a lot of Hispanics out there?
Yeah. Mercado muy grande ya.
In Louisville?
Yeah.
Kentucky? Sí, güey. Hell yeah. That's where all the paisas are marrying the white girls and shit.
And a lot of Cubanos también. Hay muchos Cubanos allá. Yeah.
Really? How they get there?
Big community. Yeah. It's crazy.
I thought they were stuck in Florida.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Subieron un poquito, ¿no? Pero sí, volviendo, hace ratito mencionabas acerca de que pues me reconocían por la ley, lo que tú quieras, ¿no? Y me pasó cuando entré a Univision. Cuando yo entré a Univision, entré específicamente, era para... ¿Dónde empecé? Empecé en Amor. So I started at...
Qué romántico.
Sí, en Amor 106.7, you know that. And then from there, Vicky was like, who's my boss now, she was like, hey, te necesito este fin de semana para la Qué Buena. So I was able to work on Qué Buena a couple of times, and it was interesting to get people calling like, ¿dónde estabas? Finalmente te escuchamos de nuevo. Like, so it was real cool.
How did it feel going?
It was cool, but it was crazy. The first time I went, I said, aquí manda la Qué Buena. Like, I shit you not. Yeah.
And you could tell him I said that shit too.
Because I have that encrusted in my brain.
Right,
You know, like para mí la ley siempre va a tener un lugar muy especial en mi corazón porque fue mi casa por tantos años. Fue donde empecé mi carrera. Fue... And
it was your dream job.
It was like that's where I wanted to be, and that's where I ended up being. But yeah, when I went on Qué Buena, that was the first time I said, I was like, oh man, no la cagues, y la cagué. You know, like one of those things. Yeah.
God damn it.
So I've been able to work on Qué Buena, on Amor, on Latino Mix, and on Today now, 4 stations for Univision.
Sweet, man.
So here's a question: in each category, or I guess I don't know if you can put it like that, but in the Spanish radio, who's the person you look? Who's the anchor you look up to? Like, who's the personality that you would say? Like,
me, and then Primo Rafa.
Primo Rafa,
Primo Rafa es un chingón.
I guess you could say who's your GOAT in that.
Me.
And then
He's still
I like the confidence.
You know, I'm sorry. And
you put in the work, bro. I think you should. I think anybody who putting in the work should be proud of them. Should be proud of the work. Should be proud of what they become. You know, and like you say, you got what you know now. You take it back like 20 years. You be like, oh shit,
man, I would
fueron monstruos. Fueron pinche monstruos. You know. But that's life, man. That's how you grow.
Exacto.
That's how you. That's how
and I
you
don't
expand.
regret. I don't have regrets in my life. You know, the only regret I have in my life is not being responsible with my money.
Right.
And that was initially. So when I started working at La Ley, I was a part-time employee.
Okay.
And for that time, they were paying me. Estaba bien. No era algo exuberante ni mucho menos. Pero lo que pasa es que yo estaba metiendo horas a lo cabrón. O sea, horas como más no te imaginas. I was working nonstop.
So based on that, is that salary or it's just...
It was part-time.
I wanted to ask about that. Like,
por hora. O sea, me estaban pagando por hora.
Por hora.
Por hora.
Entonces, $5.50 an hour?
It was, I don't remember what it was. But since I was putting in so many hours, I was killing it. Yeah. I was killing it, you know? And I was like, dude, like, oh shit, zapatos nuevos. You know, la cagué.
Los Jordans.
Right? Hell yeah.
Y ahorita ya tiene más dinero, mira, suéteres de los más nuevos.
Leather case
del año.
Por eso te digo, hubiese sido más inteligente con mi dinero.
No, yeah, pero like, como te digo, bro, es como uno crece, bro. Es como uno aprende, you know? Like, los golpes de la vida, you're like, oh shit, you know, if I would have been, like, being young, dude, you could put in hours like a motherfucker. Like,
I was 20.
Shit.
I was 20. Like, ¿qué más hago con mi vida? I want to work.
Then you want to be around people, you know?
Right?
Like,
then you love what you were doing. So I mean, it wasn't really work to you.
It really wasn't. You know, I was killing
you're learning,
it. It was.
You're learning as you go. You know, so it's fucking badass, man.
It was. Y por eso te digo, o sea, yo honestamente, I analyze and listen to different locutores, and I say, I know that there's not a person out there that's better than me. But the person that I do admire in radio is Primo Rafa.
Because he's been there for
ever. He's a smart
forever.
man. He's a smart man, one. And tiene una voz muy chingona.
Yeah.
I admire voices, you know, and his is one of those that I admire.
And he talks like that all the time.
Yeah, and he's a badass person. See, that's the difference.
I met him a couple of times because he has hired us.
Mm-hmm.
So we played for him, and he's
es una chingonería persona.
I don't have anything bad to say. Que
Ahora, si me preguntas de otros, volvemos a ser una buena persona. Tienes que ser buena persona. Yeah. Y verdaderamente el trato de las personas, como tú tratas a las personas, obviamente demuestra cómo eres como persona. ¿No?
Okay.
But you guys were on opposing radio stations.
Yeah, and the same, he was on from 7 to 12 and I was on from 7 to 12.
Oh, when you were like when
I was on La Ley.
Okay, yeah. So you guys were going at each other, right?
Competition. Yeah. And I was kicking his ass con La Llorona.
He said, but
he was the opposite.
He said, but I'm still on the radio. You told me who won.
Right. Y te digo, ¿no? Y a lo largo de mi vida me han dicho en varias ocasiones que jamás vuelvo a pisar una estación de radio. And look at me now, you know.
They told you that?
Oh, yeah.
Bigger and better.
Because volvemos, ¿no? Las personas se creen que... Yo siempre he sido una persona que no... I don't give a shit what anybody says about me.
Right.
Nor am I going to kiss anybody's ass. I'm gonna show what I can do.
I noticed that from you. Honestly, I noticed that from the
trabajo.
podcast. Con el podcast escuché mucho eso. Like, you weren't the kiss ass type. And I heard que...
I put in my work,
yeah,
you know.
You did.
Y por eso estoy donde estoy, ¿no? Estoy en un lugar donde respetan mi trabajo.
Right.
Y
you proved yourself.
Yeah, exactamente, ¿no? Yo ya te digo, o sea, en abril cumplo 22 años que estoy en esta madre. Shit. And it's like, it no fue fácil. Nunca ha sido fácil. Pero sí, but yeah, my adult life, like, pretty much.
22, I'm 30.
Yeah. Y te digo, y es eso, ¿no?
You're not 30?
El crecimiento que no he tenido, ¿no? Y todo lo que... Yo por eso soy muy orgulloso de lo que hago y lo que he hecho. ¿Por qué? Porque me ha costado. Pero siempre he tenido el apoyo de mi padre, de mi madre. O sea, siempre han estado ahí.
Oh, you paid your dues, you know, everything, yeah.
So, you know, and I think that the most important thing that we can have at all times is respect for each another. And si tú respetas a las personas van a respetarte.
Right.
Y te tienes que dar a respetar. You know, you can't let anybody belittle you. Porque van a querer aprovecharse el 100%. Y te digo, conmigo lo hacían. Conmigo le quitaban los botones a la consola para que cuando yo llegara la cagara y pues no pudiera salir al aire. Pero
wow. Chico Chabelo se culo.
Con él no trabajé. Tuve interacciones con él.
Shout out to the haters, man.
Y haz de cuenta que entre esas cosas, volviendo a lo que hice, aprendí a hacer producción, me junté con el ingeniero de ahí, me le pegaba y le decía, hey, ¿esto qué hace? ¿Cómo se hace? ¿Para qué es esto? Bro, it got to the point.
You asked questions.
It got to the point where the engineer wanted to send me to engineering school to hire me as an engineer for that company.
Oh,
and I was like, I can't because I want to work on air. This is what I want to do.
Right.
You know, I want to be heard.
And I was barely getting started, right? So it was like one of those things.
So you were getting good at everything you were working on.
Yeah, because I wanted to learn. Yo quería saber todo, right? Yo quería saber todo.
That's
Cuando me fui a Mendota, yo manejé la radio.
You did the Mendota too.
Yes, I did. Yo manejaba la radio. Yo hacía la producción. Trabajaba en partes en ventas. Everything to make a radio run, I was doing it. I was doing it,
That's
you know. And my partner at the time, Cintia Jaramillo El Bombón, like she was a very important part of what we did there. Fuimos a causar impacto allá. Cosa que nunca se había hecho. She was a badass in sales, like a badass talent, but in sales, bro, like esa mujer vendedora cabrona, ¿no?
She convinced anybody.
Yeah. And it was one of those things that we were able to do and become successful because we were just killing it doing o sea,
you guys had the same mindset.
¿no? Yeah, exacto. Yeah.
So in the English radio, who's the locutor you look up to?
Nobody.
No.
It's me.
Not even Manco?
No, not really. Mira, te puedo mencionar.
I mean, sports radio. I'm sorry.
Sports radio. So I don't. Why you guys putting
just
me in the spot?
Just say it, man.
No,
Hey, before you say that, let's take a shot.
Salud, bro.
Salud. I don't do shots, pero por
just a little. I just did
this will kill me, man.
He's straight from the motherland.
Yeah.
Salud.
Good stuff.
All right, let's say it now.
Ahora sí, sácame la guitarra.
All right, what about...
wait, he's talking.
No, Bears. Jeff Joniak.
I was going to go to Jeff. Okay, so...
you don't like him? Or
No. I like Jeff. I like Jeff a lot. Jeff Joniak, that's the one name that I can mention that is good. I can mention, if you guys listen to the score, Gabe Ramirez.
Yeah.
Good guy.
I barely
He's not the
listen to it.
executioner, right? He's not the executioner because they have another guy.
No. That's Ray Diaz.
Yeah. Diaz, right.
But Gabe started at B96.
Okay.
Oh,
I know who
the lane tech guy. Yeah,
Is he really?
Yeah,
so now he's on the score, and
I was never a fan of him.
And he's the one that's invited me to the score. Like before that, nobody ever invited me until Gabe did. But going back to Jeff Joniak, so when I started,
you guys are the sister station, right?
Yeah. So literally down the. So
like
I'm at BBM and down the hallway. The other day I was working BBM, and before I started working, he saw me pass down the hall. He's like, "Come on, jump on!" So I jumped on the score for a little bit with him.
Sweet.
Nice.
Pero Jeff Joniak. So the story with WBBM, how I got there when I interviewed, I wanted to. So I always doubted my English. I was like, I'm not good enough to do anything in English.
That's me right there.
And I always said I'm not good enough because volvemos, ¿no? Como seres humanos a veces no nos damos el crédito que merecemos, right? Entonces yo sabía que if I wanted to make money somewhere down the road, it had to be in English radio because in Spanish radio wasn't going to happen.
Yeah, it's a smaller market.
Yeah, well, yeah.
Here's my other
and it
question.
sucks, you know?
It's not a small
In the
market.
music, you said in the Mexican music, hay más billete. In the English, no. What about in the radio business? Is there more money in the English?
In English.
In English,
than
yes.
yes.
The Spanish radio?
Yes, for sure.
Huh. Even
For
if you're
sure.
like with a big station, like
He said, huh.
I mean, like
It's like that aha moment.
the bigger stations.
Yeah,
like
yeah.
even-
Money, man, I'll tell you, like when you look at English, like general market money compared to Latino radio,
You're more a celebrity in English radio?
Not celebrity, not money wise. Like
They invest, I'm pretty sure.
yeah, and it's one of those things like and it's crazy and it sucks, you know. So en mi mente yo dije, si algún día quiero hacer dinero, I gotta go to the English market because I've done this for so long in the Spanish that I haven't made any fucking money. Like I need money, right?
Like real money.
Yeah. So I was like, I made money to where I can survive and live and you know.
Live downtown.
Ahí en el último piso del River Point Tower. You know?
Shout out to La Sierra de Gold Coast, you know, Rolls Royce.
Yeah. No.
It's daily.
Entonces, so I applied at WBBM. I applied at the score. I interviewed with Mitch Rosen y me marcó de pendejito y no me contrató. And I was like, okay, cool. No worries.
You'll see me again.
Yeah, I didn't think about that, but I was like, okay, so it's not going to be the score. I'm going to apply at WBBM. I said, why not? So I looked on their website and I saw BBM and they were hiring an assistant producer. And I was like, fuck, you know, el ego te pega, ¿no? Dices, puta, ¿sabes? Vengo de ser locutor y voy pues ni modo. Tengo que darle porque, pues, that's my foot in the door, right?
You gotta get,
And when I interviewed with my boss at the time, she says, Miguel, like, you're overqualified for this position. Like, your resume, it's just ridiculous. And this is the most entry-level position at the station.
Give it to me.
And that's what I said. I said, but this is my way to get my foot in the door. I said, and I'm going to let you know right now, I want to be on air. Like, that's my
and I'm
ultimate
gonna prove
goal.
myself.
Yeah. She was like, okay, well, we interviewed, took me on a tour or whatnot, y cuando terminamos me dice, okay, si te vamos a dar el trabajo, pues nosotros te contactamos si sí o no. Yo le dije, si es que no me llames. Le digo, no me interesa que me llames si me vas a decir que no. Si me vas a decir que sí, llámame. Si no, no quiero saber nada. And she was like, oh, okay.
Ballsy. No, but I mean, confidence,
okay.
you know.
I was like, if it's a no, I really don't need a call. I appreciate
Right.
it, but I don't need it. And she hired me. And I started learning the production aspect of it, which was like, it's an amazing job because literally like producing a newscast, like estás hablando de que,
you're on it. All right.
yeah, it is nonstop. Estabas grabando los weather reports, los sports headlines
Shit that's going
from Jeff
on
Joniak.
at the moment.
Yeah, and I got there and I'm like, seeing these people, because the station that I listened to in my later days was WBBM. Like I was always on the news, and it was Felicia Middlebrook, and we got Pat Cassidy, and it was like one of those things that I was like, damn, these people, like, this is badass, right?
So it was a lot fast paced than it was before.
Oh man, it was una chingonería. So I got real good at it. To the point where they took me off of like putting me on the weekends, and I was the midday show producer, which was like, I was there from 10 to 5:30. Lo más ocupado del día. Se hacen chinga. Entonces, Jeff Joniak a mí me llamaba a partir de las 3 de la tarde me llamaba. And I would record all his headlines. So he would record all those headlines that you would hear.
Rush hour, my boy.
Yeah. And
hour.
so Jeff, the first time I met Jeff, I walked up to him on this desk and I was like, hey, Jeff, I just want to introduce myself. I'm the new assistant producer. Está así, güey. Okay. Y siguió. I was like, damn, man.
Dick.
I was like, damn, bro, like that. Pero ese hombre tiene tanto on his head and on his plate.
Oh, yeah, I'm sure.
Like, he's so concentrado de cierta manera. Like, he could come off as a dick, you know? And I was like,
he's got to be so busy.
And I was like, okay, whatever, you know, I whatever. So me regresé, and then as I started recording Jeff, like he started like knowing who I was. And then one day out of the blue, he says, Miguel, do you do on air? I said, yeah, but not here. He's like, where do you do on air? I said, well, at Univision. And by then, I was already I was doing Bears broadcast already for Univision.
Mm-hmm. Oh, okay.
Yeah, and I told him, I was like, oh, I do the broadcast for the Bears on Spanish. He was like, no shit.
He's the voice of the Bears and shit.
And he was like,
He's
okay.
like, here, you're me in Espanol.
Right.
I'm you. In Especial.
And
so my name is Jeff.
So he was like, so what the hell are you doing behind that desk? I said, well, Jeff, this is my way to get in the door here, and I want to get on air.
Trying to get your attention here, man.
Yeah. And I want to get on air on WBBM at some point, you know, so that this was the only thing available. So this is why I wanted to work here. This is what I wanted to do. Y me dice, okay, y ya. A la semana me llama para grabar sus headlines, graba sus headlines, termina, me dice, hey, Miguel, record a demo for sports. I said, okay. And I recorded a demo like a sports cast for him de 2 minutos.
In Spanish or in English?
En inglés. Yeah. And se lo mando. He was at Alias. I sent it over to him. And he was like, arréglale esto y esto otro. Okay, chingón. Se lo mando otra vez. Me dice, okay, I have something for you. Y me colgo. Chingón.
All right, fuck me then.
Yeah, I know. And I'm like, fuck.
He keeps you guessing. Your mind's
But
like,
yeah, but I didn't question
fine.
it.
Keep
I didn't
your
question it. It's Jeff
secrets.
Joniak. I'm like, it's Jeff Joniak.
Oh,
I
yeah.
didn't question it.
Yeah.
Right?
Pero si uno te quedas like, what the fuck?
Sí, claro.
You didn't sleep.
But I
I would have been
pensé,
depressed as fuck, bro.
no, pero ahí yo pensé, I'm like, this guy's going to give me a job on air somewhere. I don't know if it's here or...
Yeah.
I would have had crazy ass
See,
butterflies.
This is what I mean. That's a wolf. Bunch of sheep.
Not a fucking sheep, Tino.
Sheep.
Entonces, pues nada, me dice Jeff, a la semana me dice, okay, Miguel, te vamos a poner on air to do some sports guests on the weekends and whatnot. So they put me on air on WBBM. Y ahí estoy. And then from there,
That's sweet, man.
Felicia Middlebrooks, who used to do the morning show there, esta mujer estaba ganando ahí, imagínense nada más. Y no se confundan porque I don't make this kind of money. But she was making...
Just making it clear.
Morning shows
Everybody
on
pay attention.
BBM estaba ganando arriba de $3 million.
What?
Yeah.
No wonder
you
the
know
fucking
what?
Bentley you got outside of a boy.
I'm gonna need some.
No wonder you got that telescope.
Hey, he accepted.
No wonder you just upgraded, right? I sent him a video.
he's the one that hit him. He's the one that hit him up. That there was something flying over the freaking.
That Spanish, that Chinese spy balloon.
Yeah.
It was me. I caught it.
He was actually paying with it.
He said, "I'm gonna make my own story."
Wow. Yeah. So Felicia Middlebrooks, quien hacía el morning show ahí, igual. Ella un día fue y habló con el jefe, because they all knew that I wanted to be an anchor as well. Habló con el jefe y le dijo, si Miguel fuera güero, ya le hubieses dado una oportunidad.
Right.
Pero no se las dado. Like, why isn't Miguel on air here?
You should have put some blue contacts on it.
And I
My name is Michael.
I told Felicia, I was like, wait, did you just tell that to Ron Gleason? And she was like, yeah. She's like, God put me in a position where I have the power to say stuff like that. And if I don't help the next person, then what am I doing? And for me, o sea, al poco rato, I was training to be an anchor, and now I'm an anchor on news radio, which is the number one station in Chicago in cuanto a noticias.
How long you been there for, bro?
It's been 5 years. 5 years. Yeah, this past week cumplí 5 años.
So congrats.
But are you doing the English part as well, or just
En
Spanish?
inglés, sí, no en inglés.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't listen to.
No,
Aviance.
and that was the thing. Yo siempre dudaba en mi inglés, y cuando entro ahí, cuando empiezo, güey, las cagadas, no, güey, like
Spanglish a la verga.
like it was like
Did you
crazy,
did you
bro.
stutter at times?
Oh
'Cause
yeah, bro.
we always stutter.
I stutter.
He said things down the Eisenhower están medio fucked up.
Like, you have no idea. Y los nervios que tenía cada vez que iba a entrar yo al aire allá. Ahorita, like, I got to that point. Like,
You're very comfortable.
I'm comfortable to do whatever I need to do while I'm doing this. Cuando antes, o sea, estaba paniqueado.
You're like sweating your
Yeah, bro. Yeah. Pero ya ha llegado a un nivel donde el otro día me dijo el editor, el editor that was there, because it's been a while since I've been there just because I've been so busy with everything else. And he was like, Miguel, like, you get here without being here for a month, and it's like you never left, you know, and that was a big compliment for me because it was one of those things that I was like very proud of nuevamente, ¿no? Lo que hacemos, la disciplina que tengo, lo que es la preparación necesaria, ¿no?
Yes, sir.
Y así me decía mi amigo Joe Baines when me regañaba porque no practicaba con mi trombone, pero llegábamos a los gigs y ahí estoy.
Imagine if you practice.
I know, and he es lo que me decía, like, imagine if you would practice, Miguel. But he was like, it's amazing to me because he was a music teacher. The fact that you just pick up that, you pick up that trombone, and it's like nothing. And that was cool because I used to play the trombone with one hand and sing with the other. Like I was.
Oh shit!
Tom Jones,
así como Misael.
Yeah.
¿Cómo se llamaba that dude, Baby? ¿Cómo se llama? Trombone Baby.
Oh yeah.
Así se llama, ¿no? You ever seen him?
No.
It's this guy that plays trombone.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. So ahí estaba yo para esa de Tom Jones específicamente, the trombone and the microphone on the other.
So did WBBM come before the
I was hired the same day for Univision and BBM.
No. I'm talking about like being a sports commentator for the Cubs and all that stuff.
What
came
was
first?
they both came the same day.
Oh yeah.
So no. So
how does the schedule work for that though?
Yeah. Like I'm so curious. Like what the hell makes you a full-time
How do you split
employee?
yourself in 5?
I'm not a full-time employee with Univision. I'm a part-time employee. And
you still with Univision?
Yeah.
What do you do there? The Bears?
No, pues
You just asked them.
Yeah. The Bears, the Cubs, Blackhawks.
Ya está pedo, primo.
Okay. No.
Ya está pedo.
Okay. No,
Este pinche ya le hizo efecto.
So Univision is the main
Yeah, take that away. Quítale la pizza y la chela.
Yeah.
I don't know.
So TUDN Chicago is owned by
Univision.
Yeah.
Okay. That's where
I broadcast all the games. Yeah.
Okay.
So my job at BBM, they coordinate with what I'm doing. So they'll be like, Miguel, I have these dates available. Are you available to take these shifts? You know.
He said, "I'll think about it."
and then there's no
Yes.
No, porque uno es en inglés y otro es en español.
Okay. They didn't say like, hey man, you're taking our
No,
people over there.
they were both cool about it. I had to get.
It's not a
no-
conflict of interest.
Yeah, exactly. I was gonna
No,
say.
por el lenguaje. Completamente diferente.
And that works out to your advantage, bro.
Oh yeah, I'm double dipping like there's no tomorrow.
Hell yeah, bro.
Like, I'm gonna say that in my job.
Yeah.
I speak English and
He
Spanish.
said,
Right.
"Me chingaron for so long. I'm getting mine now."
Yeah, so it was one of those things, you know, y te pones a pensar, ¿no? Simplemente la ventaja de tener los dos lenguajes, ¿no? Y saber aprovecharlo, porque también, o sea...
La dominancia que tienes, though. I keep coming back to that, but like, la dominancia. Like, you can speak English and Spanish, and like a lot of kids nowadays, you hear them speak Spanish, you're like, oh shit, like your Spanish is a little fucked up. I hear my kids, and I'm like, yeah, you're not gonna make it.
Motherfucker, you raised them. This is your fault.
I know, man. I know. And I speak Spanish all the time. I'm fucking as Mexican as they come, bro. Like, my English is like not okay.
Yeah.
And yo me quedo and like, damn, mis hijos, like, they just came back from Mexico, and I'm like,
Did you guys learn anything?
no, I look at my little one, I'm like, Dad. I'm like, what? Hablan español. Oh my fucking God. He's like, yeah, your kid is something else. I'm like, I fucked up with these kids.
Pero
man.
no, mis padres, a mí, el lenguaje que primero aprendí fue español. O sea, mi primer lenguaje es español.
What version of Spanish? Did you learn the Puerto Rican version or the Mexican version?
He has them both.
He has them both.
Yeah,
Both. You
both.
learn first.
But when I decided at some point that I wanted to be in radio, I wanted to be as proper as I could.
Okay.
And just yo siempre me ponía la tarea de sonar bien en todos los aspectos de lo que yo hablaba. Okay. No importaba si era with my Puerto Rican accent or my Mexican accent. I wanted to make sure that I sounded good and claro más que nada, ¿no? Para poder hacer lo que yo quería hacer, ¿no? Que era justamente, y eso vino desde, la influencia mía siempre ha sido la banda Machos, ¿no? Las canciones de banda Machos, like, bro, o sea, eran conciertazos en el baño cuando estaba bañando, entonces.
Do you ever say, in the middle of the Cubs game, desde Villa Corona,
Mira, during my broadcast, yo lo trato de hacer bien relajado, bien. Like I try to be like legit, like I want people to think que somos compas, and it gets to that point where like
you're not reading.
Yeah, and my Twitter like es una arma muy fuerte para mí para baseball. Like my Twitter is mostly Cubs baseball, and te digo, o sea, tengo el alcance en lo que hago con Twitter es increíble es una herramienta muy fuerte para mí. En cuanto a eso, ¿no?
Are you checkmark, bro?
A manejar. I'm not checkmark.
Did you buy it?
No, I didn't buy it either.
Fuck Elon. Fuck Elon.
I guess you could buy it now for like $8.
Yeah, but if you buy it, like you get a
You're
blue
still
one.
not really verified. You still have to
Because
get
now the
verified
verified are the ones that
The
are
yellow ones, right?
yellow. Yeah.
Business something.
And you know, at some point,
it's a scam.
I will at some point, obviously, not buy it, but you know,
You get
submit.
verified?
Yeah, because at the end of the day, I am a journalist. I am, you know,
You're a public
a
figure.
broadcaster for these major teams and whatnot. Pero te digo, o sea, no es para mí que digamos que es una prioridad. I don't care. I really don't. But it's cool to have that relationship with the listeners that I do have.
So now that you have accomplished all this, what's the next step you want to accomplish, bro?
World dominance.
Money. Más dinero. Así que hacer más rifas.
So
con
1 million,
razón.
1
con
million is
razón.
not enough.
Oye, con razón los lunes no me entra para hacer videos acá.
Yeah. After 8 o'clock, we close shop.
No, you know, you always want to be better in everything you do, right? And at the end of the day, my ultimate goal would be just to be hired by the Cubs and do the full 182 games and just travel with the team and just work for the Cubs. And that would be it. You know, that would be like my ultimate accomplishment and ultimate goal. Que yo por mí, otros 40 años ahí, que Dios me dio licencia para trabajarlos, sería feliz.
That doesn't sound like it's too far from your
That
reality
was
either.
exactly what I was gonna say.
Like that sounds like it's within reach.
Thank you. And I've already expressed.
You just gotta bump into the
expressed
Ricketts,
it to.
Yeah, you know, just casually, you know.
So
let the stars
in the
align.
parking lot.
So I did. So
Would you
Tom
like a
Ricketts. So here's the thing. Like Tom Ricketts has no idea who I am, right?
Now he does.
But
He's watching.
but the Cubs front office, like a lot of people, el año 2021, like it was a big year for me because I was able to go ahead and grow even more and create a name for me that people now recognize within lo que es los partidos de los Cubs como narrador. He creado una conexión muy especial con los aficionados de los Cubs, which has been amazing. And the Cubs themselves, the Cubs organization, they started noticing. They started knowing who I was. They started knowing what I was doing. Now they have me sing the national anthem.
I seen that shit. I seen that. I was like, holy shit.
Bro, how
You
did
did the 7 inning stretch a couple
and the
times.
7th inning stretch, like that right there, like
Were you reading
that
the
is
lyrics?
like no. So okay,
Because I'll get freaking nervous and shit.
okay. So
I think
the first time
they come out in the jump.
I will
No?
butcher that
bro,
thing.
bro.
Man.
So I'm notoriously known for butchering lyrics. Like, but I won't stop. Like, I'll
You'll
sing
make
you a
up some
song
shit.
and I'll make shit as I go, right?
The show don't stop, motherfuckers.
Una vez estaba en Pensilvania, justamente, estaba cantando la canción de ¿Quién te cantará? Que grabé con banda.
Okay.
Y estaba cantando esa canción. And I flipped the lyrics around and I'm like, damn, I just flipped these lyrics, right? But nobody knew. Like, nobody, you know, and that was the thing, you know, and a lo largo de mi carrera y las veces que me he subido a cantar con bandas y la cago, ¿no? Yo he tenido la dicha de cantar con tantas bandas, entre ellas ya mencionada la Machos, la Maguey, la Banda de Limón, la Arrolladora.
Wow.
Yeah, he cantado con todas esas bandas.
See, that's the radio plug.
It is because I was on stage presentando y hey, ¿me puedo aventar un palomazo? Sí, a huevo.
Man, that's sweet, man.
Bro, like, cantar con la Arrolladora.
Yeah.
They're like, dude, like, I sang that, y ahorita ni me acuerdo cómo va la canción, la de...
Romantic one or
No.
ranchera?
Los puritos, West.
Esa, mira.
Oh, was it?
Yeah. ¿Cómo va? ¿Cómo empieza?
Faltan mil palabras para decirte.
No.
Perdona, mi amor.
Ajá. Bueno, ¿cómo dice? Por decirte la verdad. A quemar ropa.
Yeah.
Es que ya me cansé.
And karaoke starts right now.
So, yeah.
Calentanos after hours.
Yeah, I sang that with con la banda Limón, canté la de ¿Y qué pasó? Pues que se te olvidó.
That must have been bad.
Yeah, so you know, I've been fortunate to do that, but most of the time I forget lyrics, you know, and when the first time I sang the national anthem, I didn't take it seriously as I should have because I know the anthem. I've sang it Thousands of times.
Since we were kids.
Yeah, exactly.
That was
It wasn't banned then.
Y en todos los juegos escucho el himno y lo canto, I sing along.
Right.
Pues ahí estás, güey, parado solo en el Wrigley Field a cantarlo tú, güey.
And everybody's looking at you.
Yeah, bro.
que-
Everybody's like shaking.
Los nervios son unas motherfuckers.
So I repeated a verse.
Oh, did you?
Yeah, I did the first time. And in my head, I'm like, Miguel, did you just mess up this anthem? I was like, la acabas de cagar, güey.
He's worse than Colin Kaepernick.
Yeah, bro. En mi mente, güey, ahí estoy, güey. O sea, I'm like, yo la cagué.
Te agarraste a putazos en tu
Sí, güey, sí. and I finished, and everyone's like, hey, congratulations. I'm like, did I fuck up or not? And when I did the high note at the end, everyone started cheering. I'm like, maybe I didn't fuck up, right?
You saved it.
Did you fuck up or not? I know. So yo llevé a un amigo mío que me grabara because I wanted to get like a little video of doing the whole process and whatnot. And we're going up the elevator. I'm like, Tony, did I just mess up the national anthem? He's like, Miguel, you did. I was like, man.
There's no way around it. George
They're
Washington.
waiting for you upstairs. You're about
George
to be fired.
Washington's rolling in his grave right
And
now.
the Rockets red glare
Y
twice.
todavía me faltaba el seventh inning stretch. So I was like, oh, la voy a cagar. güey. I was like, oh, man. So, no, seventh inning stretch came along and it was great. And I counted in Spanish, which had never been done at Wrigley. Nobody had ever counted.
No
A la una,
shit.
las dos,
Awesome.
like,
Never heard in Spanish.
Yeah. So,
You know, that's one thing I don't like about the Cubs. Like the Sox have a lot of
Español?
no, they have,
gangbangers? Oh.
No.
Sorry.
No, they have
Oh, what?
the Sox have bandas playing in the outside.
Well, dude is in the south side.
Like,
What do you expect?
Oh, tailgating.
No. They're,
Yeah, they have tailgating.
I
And they
paid
have
at the
bandas.
tailgate
And-
de los Sox.
they have like a little stage.
Oh, yeah, because Nueva Raza has been there.
Nueva
actually.
Raza goes there a lot.
They've had, I think the Secta guys do it before.
Really?
Or no, ejemplo, one of them. But they've
I'm
had them like.
why don't the Cubs do that? You know?
But here's the thing, you know.
They may now because
They-
you got Javi there.
They Javi.
Javier Assad.
Oh, Javier Assad. So I'm like, Javi Baez left. No, but the past years, if you noticed, you know, obviously having me sing the anthem, we did the El Día de los the National Heritage. They did the giveaway de la calavera. So they started realizing the importance of it, and I take a lot of that. I take a lot of the credit for it because I've been able to put the eye on the importance of the Latino market for
There
the
is a
Cubs.
market for it, yeah.
Porque ellos llegaban a un punto donde se iban a eliminar el broadcast en español.
What?
They weren't going to have it. And going back to the Tom Ricketts story, like...
Motherfuckers, y'all bringing Dominicans and fucking
Exactly.
Mexicans
Pero,
now.
y hoy en día, si tú vas a Wrigley, ya ves más latinos ahí.
Oh,
Algo
yeah.
que no se veía.
Pero honestly,
Oh wait, especially in the Dodgers versus the Cubs.
Oh,
games.
yeah, bro.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
But honestly, I
I went to
think
that game
we
last
have to seriously behave because I seen some videos like with St. Patrick's thing going on. Mexicans are fucking fighting each other ahí in the fucking bars. I'm like, bro, you.
Siempre,
Like,
mira,
no,
siempre va a ser.
Siempre va
Siempre va a
a
haber.
pasar, güey.
But they're outside
Siempre-
the club, man. They're
Y
not
siempre,
inside.
siempre que van a Wrigley, los White Sox and Sox, like
Yeah.
you always have the fights.
Yeah,
and it's,
but like,
and it's a Sox fan.
Have you ever
starting
seen
it, you know?
the Bills tailgating? Those are
You heard it here first, folks. Southside motherfuckers
you
need
know,
to learn how
like,
to behave.
They do, like it, you know, and they say I hate on the White Sox. I don't. Es la realidad. O sea, las cosas.
it was the White Sox that showed up. It could have been, man.
You know, and it's one of those things. You like, unfortunately, sí. O sea, sí es cierto. Pero creo que hemos dado pasos muy grandes con la organización.
I agree.
Para llegar al punto donde empezamos a hacer más cosas, donde empiezan a tomar más en cuenta. Los Blackhawks lo están haciendo también ahora.
Right.
Y es eso, porque han visto el alcance que tenemos, like at the
there's
Blackhawks.
money.
Right,
Yeah,
there's
of
money.
course,
Everything's
of course.
money at the end of the day, bro. But what I'm saying, behave.
Yeah, es
Behave.
importante. Sí,
That's
claro.
all. That's, you know, like that.
I think-
I'm not gonna even fucking say it like that, but we don't want to be looked at like, oh, these animals, you know, like because we are. You know,
Yeah, se ve
we're gonna be
feo, se ve feo. Yeah.
We get portrayed that way, and they're like, fuck, man, like we had a chance, and now they're gonna kick us out because
Yeah.
they're gonna cancel your
Right.
podcasting. You know, like, man.
Yeah.
Just for a little or someone's fuck up, you know, like
Exacto.
¿por qué? You know, just
Yeah.
behave.
Y hoy más que nunca te digo, o sea, hemos visto pasos positivos. Yo antes con la organización, igual, o sea, era un punto donde pedía credenciales y a veces no me las querían dar o me mandaban lo más alto de lo que es el press box. Like, y no había la importancia para la que era el latino. Y hoy en día, te digo, hemos visto un paso más grande.
It's emphasized a lot more now.
Mira, por ejemplo, el año pasado empecé con ellos un YouTube show called Béisbol y Más.
Yeah, when you take something like that.
Yeah, so they saw the importance of creating this kind of content, you know,
right.
and they took advantage that they had somebody like me that's now out there and really putting out the name of the Cubs in the Spanish community.
You went to a store and all that stuff.
Yeah, yeah. So I've done episodes with Rafael Ortega, Christopher Morel, Manuel Gonzalez. I did one with Patrick Wisdom. So we wanted to do something, you know, where it wasn't just Spanish, but the most part, mostly son todos español.
Let me know when you do the Javi one.
He'll be the guy that holds the light. You know?
Yeah.
I could be your camera guy, man.
Right? There you go. So, you know,
that doesn't look like a camera, cochino.
Like, where do you have 5 cameras here?
We got 5 camera guys here. and you're wearing one. Man, that's awesome, bro.
Yeah.
Man, all props to you, bro,
Thank
man.
you.
The stuff
Thank
you have
you.
accomplished, man. You're a guy that we all look up to.
Thank you.
Game changer, dude.
And
Yes,
you
bro.
know,
Appreciate
and
you.
then you know you made a name for yourself, and hopefully these kids now they take a look and see what you have accomplished and say, you know, I want to be like a Miguel Esparza.
Man, I hope so.
Yeah,
Se los dije al principio, if I can inspire somebody, one person, me doy por bien servido, ¿no?
Uno de guerrero.
Eso.
So what message do you have for those people that are looking into into broadcasting or
I mean, I'm pretty sure it's a hard field to get into.
It's very hard. It's very hard.
or even somebody that wants to be like an announcer, you know?
But here's the thing, you know.
Or a podcaster, at least.
Lo difícil es más gratificante cuando lo logras hacer, ¿no? Porque obviamente lo que es fácil no te vas a llevar la satisfacción de que, por ejemplo, yo son 20 años de talonearle, de estar peleando y buscando.
Yes,
y hoy en día es cuando empiezo a ver fruto de lo que he sembrado en
20 years,
22 años.
Yeah, 20 years later, and you're like,
Labor of your fruits.
Hoy es cuando lo empiezo a ver y ha sido gracias a los deportes, gracias a lo que ha sido la plataforma también que me proveyó Univision, el poder, te digo, y más que nada yo creo que nosotros somos los creadores de nuestro propio destino. Yo creo que eso es lo más importante que hay que ver aquí. Yo voy de la mano de Dios, creo mucho en Dios, creo mucho en el poder de lo que Él puede hacer, en el poder de la oración. Eso es muy importante. Pero también tienes que tú tomar los pasos necesarios para que las cosas se te den, porque si no, está el cuento, ¿no? del vato que se está ahogando y Dios, sálvame, ¿no? Y llega un barco, te voy a salvar, no, es que estoy esperando porque Dios me va a salvar.
stupid.
Sí, y varias cosas que le manda a Dios y no, estoy esperando que Dios, y ya cuando llega muerto a la chingada para arriba, ¿qué pasó que no me salvaste? Pues cabrón, te mandé 3, 4 cosas, ¿no? Y no aprovechaste, ¿no? Entonces, you know, so little things like that, yes, you have to, obviously, yo creo que todo el mundo...
So take every opportunity that you have, basically.
Tienes que.
Seize the moment, like Eminem said, man.
Yeah, you have to, man. You have to take advantage of these opportunities. Y no tomarlo a la ligera porque we can be very complacent very easily.
Yes.
Entramos dándole con todo y de repente pues ya estoy aquí.
We get a little success and yeah, we're good.
Aquí estoy bien, ¿verdad? Tranquilo. Y luego llega un cabrón que tiene más hambre que tú
I feel
y ya te
attacked.
chingaste, ¿no? Llega otro que viene que está más ansioso y que tiene más energía, más ganas de decir, ¿sabes qué? Yo le voy a dar al 1000% y ya te tumbaron el jale. A lo largo de mis años, yo he enseñado a mucha gente en la radio, personas que han llegado y que se han acercado a mí, que me han preguntado y los he llevado de la mano. Y me dicen a mí, habían personas que me decían, ¿para qué le enseñas? Te va a quitar el jale. Pero bueno, si me quita el jale, al menos sé que I did a good job. Like teaching that person, right?
Yeah.
Like, and that person, wherever they will go for the rest of their life, they will
remember
say,
you.
Miguel was the one who taught me this, right?
And
Ese
your
es parte de tu legado.
Yeah, tu legado, ahí queda. And you're like, your name is going to be known. Like, hey. And then that guy's, legado, said, no, pues a él enseñó él. And then I learned off of him.
Yeah.
And now, like, dude, I'm still here.
You become an institution.
Yeah. At the end of the day,
sir.
that's what it is. And you know, y siempre mencionas qué consejo le puedo dar. Sé, be you. That's the main one that I can do.
Come down, Matt Nagy.
No trates de... Nagy. Oye, pregúntame qué pasó con el juego ayer. Perdimos. Dime, pregúntame.
¿Qué pasó con el juego ayer?
Well, overall we saw some progress. We saw some growth.
Practice was good.
Yeah, and that's the thing that we like to look at, just the growth in general. We had some good practices, and we're gonna take a look more in this week, and then we'll know by Thursday what the injury report says, and then we'll go from there.
I fucking hated his press conferences, dude.
Every week the same thing, lo mismo.
It's already script, my boy. He's script for failure, man. He's script for failure.
Like, I would buy that guy a beer, but I would not put him, on my team of whatever the hell I'm doing.
Do you guys really think he's an actual like?
No, that's Andy Reid out there. That's why Eric Bieniemy didn't get a head coaching job.
Exactly. So now le dan este puestecito al vato y pues,
if Eric Bieniemy can make it work, what is he, Washington? If he can make it work there, cool. Pero Nagy, he's too young. He's too young to be a head coach. He's too stubborn.
You know who's young? Piggy.
I could be a head coach, man.
So Miguel, man, I want to appreciate you, man. Like, I want to give you a big thanks for coming out, man. Like, te agradezco. Like, veniste a regañarnos desde el principio, right? And we need that, bro. And like I said, we're new to this. We don't understand it. We're just going with the flow,
We all need it, no matter where we are in our lives. We all need somebody to tell us, Miguel, this is wrong. Celso, this is wrong.
Yes.
Tino, ¿cómo dijiste que te llamas?
Piggy,
No, el nombre regular.
Piggy, nombre regular. Edgar. I promise you, he's the only one that calls me Edgar, and I keep telling him, dude, stop calling me that. That's weird, man.
Only my mom calls me that.
Only my mom, not even that.
She's mad. Siempre tenemos que saber, nosotros, siempre tiene que haber alguien. Y algo que sí les puedo recomendar, por ejemplo, aparte, ¿no? Algo que yo hago después de mis juegos de los Cubs específicamente. ¿Y por qué? Porque tengo la facilidad de hacerlo. As I'm driving home, I'm on the MLB app listening to my broadcast.
Your own.
My own.
Yes,
because
sir.
I want to know
you're your own harsher critic.
Yeah, where I was good, where I was bad. What can I implement into my broadcast? Igual con ustedes. Obviamente.
We do that. At least now, I do.
Now
yeah,
we
oh, that's good.
I listen to.
And take notes. Like, es muy importante. Yo siempre le he dicho a las personas, cuando alguien te está enseñando algo o cuando estás haciendo tu autocrítica, es importante apuntar las cosas porque se nos olvidan las cosas así de rápido.
Yeah.
Tenemos tanto que está sucediendo en nuestras vidas que esas cositas a veces pasan a un
sí,
whatever. We'll look at it later.
Or you threw it on the back burner.
Yeah, y se te olvida, ¿no? Y algo que he aprendido yo es eso, tomar tus notas, utilicen sus calendarios, apunten sus cosas para que
no. Like you told us about the board. We should have a board. Don't lose the
we need a sponsor.
Yeah.
Dicen the shortest pencil is longer than the longest memory type of shit.
Exactamente. ¿Por qué? Porque estamos tan ocupados que ese tipo de cosas así de rápido se te pueden pasar y no pierdes nada con apuntarlo. No pierdes nada. Es apuntar ese tipo de cosas y cómo mejorar, cómo ser mejor persona y profesional a la misma vez.
Hell yeah, bro. Copa Tino, ¿qué tiene?
Hey, bro, thank you for
thank you, bro.
honoring us with your presence, bro. Like,
man.
It is an honor, man.
Like we been wanting you to, like we didn't even know how to approach you. And then we compadres like, I already asked him, like, oh, okay. I'm like,
I'll just send him a message.
We asked, we're like, hey, you guys, anybody know, like anybody knows, like somebody can, like.
Somebody cool?
Yeah, like somebody that knows the business or how to like fucking.
I'm like, I know somebody.
He's like, yes, I know somebody, and he's like, I messaged him already. I
was like,
thank you.
I'm like, he said yes.
Misael, like, and he's always looked out for me. He's always looked out for opportunities, and like when the Cubs are hiring the PA announcer, he sent me, hey, you should apply to this. Like things like that. He always looks out for me, so I appreciate you both. And now ustedes que los conozco, pues igual.
Likewise, man.
Likewise. Thank you for stopping by and telling us some of your story, man.
I just came for the pizza, bro.
Hey, talking about pizza.
Nah, he came for the pizza. Look how much he killed.
Shout out to Nati's Pizza on 26th Street. También shout out to Michelotis.
Michelotis ahí para sus micheladas, para su paste, para su candy and everything, bro. I said I was going to bring some out and I didn't. Sorry.
The story was too good. The story was too good, man.
Yes, it was, man. I was really into the story.
Saludos para el compa Ramón de Michelotis Mix. You can find all his michelada stuff.
Yes,
any store. Just if they don't have it, just ask for it.
Yeah.
También para
A&J
Automotive por ahí, 4938 West Belmont Ave in Chicago. Ask for el compa Ed Navarro y arriba Jalisco chingado.
Eso.
Y también para mi compa de Macho Panzon, Carne Seca.
Carne Seca.
You can find him
some of that,
now
bro.
You
at
gotta have it. You gotta have it, man. We got you.
Sir Mac Produce, he's
expanding.
He has it there now. So saludos para él. Man, he try. I like the mild. You guys like the spicier
We
stuff.
like the
Spicy stuff was good.
We're Mexican. It's good.
So I mean, shout out to them. Mi compa Maximiliano, thank you for the pizza, bro.
Yes, sir.
It's awesome. Thank you
Gracias.
for the gear.
bro.
El Pastor Pizza's fire, man.
Yeah,
It is.
Different.
También para mi compa Moy, por supuesto,
Moy.
para all your printing needs, all your t-shirts, all your hats,
Stickers,
anything, designs, everything,
Embroidery,
embroideries, de todo.
silk printing, or
Yeah.
handmade
Todo.
printing, I think it's called. Yeah.
A huevo lo hace.
Hey, that should be his slogan, man.
Yeah.
Compa Piggy, ¿qué tiene que decir por ahí?
Dude, no, thank you. I can say this is probably one of the ones that we were all quiet
Yes.
the most.
Yes,
And
man.
just being
Es que no me callo.
No, because we were like,
no es
I'm
que,
like, yes.
no es que somos chismosos, es que we're observant, you know?
We're absorbing all the
Yes.
as much as we can.
Oh,
Thank you.
dude, you have a badass story, and
Thank
I
you.
mean, it sounds like your life has been, the shit. Your work ethic has been there.
Well, here. Let me stop you there. My life, like everybody else's life, is shit at some point. You know.
No, the shit.
No. I'm saying the shit, but at some points it is shit. You know. Tenemos nuestras altas y
lows and the
nuestras
highs.
bajas.
Yeah.
Yo y no sé si me puedo alargar aquí tantito con ustedes, pero así rapidito nada más para volver a la fe que tengo yo, ¿no? Yo tenía un trabajo en esos periodos donde no estaba full time at a radio station. And I'm still not full time, but I work like if I was. But anyway, un periodo donde yo tenía un trabajo muy bueno de sales, and I hated it, but I was so good at it. I was regional director for this company, and I was making good money. And I was so unhappy that I told my boss, you know what, I appreciate you for opening your doors to your company and the opportunities that you've given me, but I'm not happy. So I'm giving
It's not for me.
I'm giving you my notice, and I'm going to give you as much time as you need to replace me because I was a regional director. I was a manager. I had a team. And she was like, how much time can you give me? I said, as much time as you need. I was there for 3 months after I gave her my notice.
Man, how does 20 years sound?
Yeah. And but I left my job because I wasn't happy. But I hit rock bottom because I didn't have a plan either. But I knew that I didn't want to be there. And
You just got tired of it.
Chasing the dream.
I got
Chasing the
tired.
dream.
I was like, I
Be
have
a
to
man.
get, I have
Quit
to
your
get
job.
back. I have to get back into radio. I said, I want to get
That's
back
what
into
makes you
radio.
happy.
That's what makes me happy. So I wanted to get back into radio one way or another. I didn't know how it was going to be. I had no plan. I had no money. I was down and out, nothing. And mi resort, como el de muchos, fue una iglesia. Encontré una iglesia in Hammond. That's where I currently go to. And God spoke to me, like legitly spoke to me in Indiana. Yeah.
Oh, shit.
I live 13 minutes from it. I'm in Glenwood.
Okay.
But un día llego, as I'm going to church, I'm praying. I'm like, God, I don't have any money for gas. I don't have any money for food. I have nothing. And as the service is finishing, llega una pareja, and they come up to me. I had never spoken to them. And they said, Miguel, God spoke to me and told me to give you all the money I have in my pocket.
What the fuck?
No way.
I cried, obviously. The man said, I wish I had more. He gave me $35. I filled up my tank, and I grabbed a sandwich from McDonald's.
Yeah, man.
And my faith grew even stronger. And then there was another time he spoke to me twice, and during that period of time of my life. And there was this lady. We were at this event during the week, and this lady, she was praying, and you hear the weird like blah 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 like that kind of shit. I was like,
the mumbling,
whoa.
like
the murmurs.
Yeah, dude. Like anyway, so they're praying. And
I watched the movies, man.
Yeah, bro. Then she turns to me. So as I was going, I was praying for a job, for my financial situation, and I prayed for my family too, so that they can be good and whatnot. She turns around and she says, Miguel, God says to don't worry. Your financial situation will be fixed soon. And your family's going to be okay. They're good. Like everything that I prayed for as I was there, she turned around and told me like
Wow.
yeah, legit.
It's gonna work out. Yeah.
And this was when she told me that about the job situation. It literally was maybe 2 months before I went to St. Jude to the hospital. I'm a big advocate for St. Jude.
Same here, bro.
Yeah.
Every chance I get to donate or whatever,
Yeah.
or like,
Pues conviértase en ángeles de esperanza. It's $20 a month. It's $20 a month, and you think about it. ¿Cuánto te gastas a diario?
Yes.
¿Cuánto te cuesta un café? ¿Verdad? Son $20 al mes. It's amazing. So I fly out there through Kentucky because we did el Radio Maratón allá in Kentucky también. And when I get there, I sit and I'm praying to God. I'm like, God, like, help this trip. Like, give me something out of this trip so that I can have that fuel that I need to get back and really like find a job, because at that point I still didn't have a job and I was like, shit, like I'm hurting here.
You want to push us.
Yeah. So I was like, esto me va a ayudar mucho porque es positivo, es algo hermoso el poder ayudar a St. Jude de esta manera. So as I'm sitting there and I'm praying, haz de cuenta que llega Aureliano Salgado, Mau Mauricio y Vicky Aguilera. They're coming on that plane as well. And Aureliano sits next to me, Vicky sits here, and then Mauricio sits here. I knew Aureliano from the past, from different events that we crossed, you know, and he starts talking to me, ¿cómo has estado? ¿Qué estás haciendo? Le digo, no, todo bien. Le digo, vengo para lo de St. Jude. Oh, nosotros también vamos para allá, blah, blah, blah. And then Vicky tells Mauricio, mira, ya encontró amigo este vato. You know? Yeah, and Mauricio was
Bueno,
like...
bueno que no es carrilla. I would have been like, ya encontró novio este güey.
I'm pretty sure that's how she said it, you know? I'm pretty sure that's how she said it. So Mauricio was like, no, this is Miguelón. Él trabajaba con la ley, you know, this radio guy here. So she turns around and says, hey, do you want to go back to radio? And I was like, yeah.
Like that.
Like that. And she was like, pero dice, ahorita no estoy contratando a nadie, pero mándame un demo y así ya lo tengo cuando se abra algo. Así.
And then again.
Did you open your jacket like that?
I casually had one with
No, because I was like, did this just happen? Like I'm here like 5 minutes ago praying to God, and God's showing off with me and putting these people like right here in the same. We didn't book our flights together. We didn't nothing, you know?
That's faith, man. That's
faith. And so we go that weekend. We spend all that weekend together. Mauricio, Vicky, and myself, and Aureliano. We're there. We're you know, I stood with them throughout that weekend. And before we left, she's like, no se te olvide mandarme el demo. I sent it that Monday morning. She listened to it. She called me. She's like, okay, no tengo nada, pero lo tengo. Lo tengo, yeah.
I will, yeah.
And by then, St. Jude had invited me to go to Univision because they had a radiothon and invited me to go as a volunteer. So I go to volunteer, and it was a Thursday. That Thursday, I was helping St. Jude and organizing and everything. And Vicky called me into one of the studios. She's like, ¿puedes venir? I was like, yeah. She's like, ya hablé con mi jefe, te voy a contratar. Dice, yo no sé qué vi en ti, hay algo que vi en ti y quiero que formes parte de mi equipo. So she hired me. And nice. and that was it. It was one of those things that it was because of God and you know, just that faith and just, you know, nuevamente, ¿no? Si no, como dijiste hace ratito, si no hablas, Dios no te oye, ¿no? Ahí fue lo más claro, ¿no? Que puedas imaginar. So that's
shit, bro. Man, that's an awesome story, bro, man.
Yeah, you know,
we like your perseverance.
Thank you.
Siempre
your persistence.
Luchas, the hunger, the drive, the hustle.
I'm so hungry, Rona.
Hey, cálmate, Tino.
Good thing we have pizza.
I'm still eyeballing that pizza. No, it's badass. I mean, I'm a firm believer of one of the biggest sins in life is not living to your fullest potential. And dude, what you spit to us all fucking 2 hours? Más o menos por ahí. Dude,
nos quedamos 2 horas ya.
It's charging.
2 hours and 20 minutes.
It's crazy. It's insane. I know, you know.
It's fucking beautiful, man.
Hopefully we can have you back here, you know, for the rest of the story.
yeah, for sure, man.
That's chingón, man. That's chingón.
Absolutely. Thank you. Muchas gracias.
Bro, thank you for stopping by and for telling us your story, man.
Thank you.
We wish you nothing but the best, man. Hopefully, you know, there's more and more years. Like you said, you know, another 20 years
so.
of Miguelón.
Si Dios me da licencia para seguir hablando, yo sigo hablando, ¿no?
Hey, you could be hosting the Oscars.
No, we're hiring, bro.
Right?
we need hey, for real, we need a production.
we need everything.
We need everything.
We're paying pizza.
Right?
We have a guy here that hasn't really, you know.
Yeah.
No, thank you guys.
Recorded the commercial.
Anyway, bro, como te digo, man, muchas gracias por venir. Para los seguidores, ojalá se hayan llevado un bonito mensaje con este podcast. Honestamente, un amigazo ya, ahorita ya lo conozco, ellos lo conocen de años, pero yo estoy bien orgulloso ya, ahorita sí me va a dar cup tickets, dice.
Hey, before we go, Miguel, do you want to, you know, put your social media?
Podcast, put your
social
podcast,
media,
all your stuff, and dude. Please put more content, porque me dejaste like, what the fuck?
No, tengo mucho contenido, o sea, increíble, ¿no?
He left you like my dad when he went to go get the milk.
And he never came back. Yeah.
He never came back.
No, I'll come back. I'll come back, no, for sure. Yeah, social media, Miguel Esparza Radio, Facebook, Instagram. On Twitter, you can find me as Miguel's Voice. Y el podcast es My Radio Life. On Instagram, ahí está el link to Linktree, donde están todos los diferentes. Yeah,
find it, señoras y señores.
Appreciate you coming, Miguel.
Oh, thank you guys.
Thank you for accepting.
Big applause, bro.
Yeah, man.
Thank you for not ignoring Misa.
Ahorita le vamos a echar otro tequila antes que se vaya.
Misa, thank you for being his friend, man.
Hey,
Not you, foul.
Hope you could come back again.
Yeah, for sure. Invítame,
I'm
aquí
pretty
estoy.
sure there's a lot more to go through.
Hell yeah,
you know,
man.
Only scratch the
I can
surface.
talk, bro.
Man.
yeah.
Like
we haven't gotten into your hobbies yet.
Right.
Well, that's part two. That's part two.
Telescopes.
Yeah.
NASA.
In the summer, he can grill. He can grill. So fuck it.
Yeah, so that, and then you bring your telescope.
We got a smoker.
Or we'll just go to him too. You know.
También, en mi casa es tu casa.
Hell
Claro.
yeah.
Si quieren ir pegadito a Indiana.
Then we go to the casino.
We're mobile.
En lo que está sirviendo las copas aquí mi compa Misa. Señoras y señores, nosotros somos
Los Calentanos Podcast.
And
Pues Miguel.
Ahí estamos, señores y señores.